The capitalist warrior digs his grave with a voice that could make demons quiver. He's a prognosticator, truth giver, blasting through the speakers with dead precision. His words cut deep, causing global division. The CIA levels of assessment, he's got them all, unmasking the lies, watching empires fall. Ruthless and relentless, he takes a stand, bringing a hammer down on the corruption of the land. No politician, no pundit is safe from his wrath. He's the business badass, here on the warpath. Ghost, predicting the future. Ghost, sparking synapses. Ghost, the badass of business. Yeah, now get ready. True Campus Radio starts right now. Fucking bucks.
What's going on, folks? And thank you for tuning in with me
Fucking bucks.
to another edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. This is episode number 729, episode 729 for all the folks that are keeping track of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And before we get into anything else, I'd like to ask everybody to please spread this show across the internets and throughout the world. And let everybody let them all know that the True Capitalist Radio broadcast is in effect and in the house. This is episode 729. 729. It is December 17, 2024. So close to Christmas. Anyway, folks, it's been a while since I've conducted a True Capitalist Radio broadcast, and it's because there has been a massive amount of news that has unraveled, and I kind of wanted to see where this was going. And as I continue to wait to see where these things or where these events are going, more and more events continue to pop up. So with that being said, we've got a lot of things to talk about this evening. I hope that you're buckled up because we got a lot of things to discuss. And already belligerent Brian with a Rumble rant. No, we're not getting TTS. And Devious Dave saying Jimmy Carter flew over his house. Over here. What's going on to the people at Rumble and everywhere else? I'm broadcasted all over the place. All right, what's going on to the folks over there at Twitter? What's going on to the folks over there at YouTube, Kick, D-Live, Trovo, and of course Rumble. We're also over there at Party as well. All right, so cheers to everybody out there who is listening. And we got a lot of things to talk about. All right, so without any further ado, let's just go ahead and go right in to the financial portion of the broadcast before we get into any of the domestic and international stuff, because we got a lot of stuff to talk about, all right? So anyway, excuse me, let's go ahead and put this show on the road. Let's talk about finance. Let's talk about the markets. Put the PC shot on. We are starting to see negativity in the market finally. I think this may be the calm before the storm. Like I said, we've never been through anything like this. 60% of the money supply was printed after the COVID incident. So everybody that's been anticipating some kind of a contraction, they've never been through anything like this. So we're waiting until the folks that I guess have more money than sense finally run out of money. All right. And also, I do want to say, I think that the pending administration and some of the economic policies could help accelerate this downward cycle. But with that being said, let's talk about the markets today. Dow Jones Industrial is down 0.61% on the day, closing out the Dow at 43,449.90 points for the Dow Jones Industrial. We've got the S&P 500. It is also down. All right, it is also down 0.39%, closing out the S&P at 6,050.61 points for the S&P 500. We've got the NASDAQ It is also down today, 0.32%. NASDAQ right now is at an unbelievable 20,109.06 points for the NASDAQ composite. As you all know, folks, I am not an investor in this market. The only thing that I'm investing in right now, as I've always said, is, just kind of sparsely picking up small cap stocks. Because once this bubble finally blows, and believe me, it is, I mean, you've already got the Market Watch headlines. Take a look at this. NVIDIA stock in correction. And Microsoft CEO he made it even more worrying on some statements that he made. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. And let me explain why. And I'm going to get to it in just a second. Let's just go ahead and cover gold here. Gold is up very modestly, 0.07%. Closing out gold at $2,663.90 per troy ounce of gold. And we've got oil starting to creep up a little bit because of all the international disorder. And we're going to talk about that later on the broadcast. Oil is up 0.27%, closing out oil at $70.27 per barrel of WTI sweet crude. Now, the reason I'm saying that we may be on the cusp of this contraction is because of the latest numbers that have been coming out about the job openings here. Put the PC shot on. If you take a look at this chart here, job openings declining rapidly. All right, if you take a look at this chart, there's a definite trend when it comes to the downward cycle of any job openings in America. And typically, if you take a look, at these dips, they all coincide with recession. And I think everybody needs to heed this call, as well as the inverses of the 2 and 10-year treasury bonds. I mean, there are so many symbols. There are so many signs that this recession is pending. All right, and that right there should tell you that here we go. All right, it's only a matter of time. I mean, every time we've taken a contraction in the job market, we start seeing a recession. So that's why I've been telling everybody ever since the Federal Reserve started monetary tightening back in March of 2022 that I think folks need to start entertaining saving money. And it's been the complete opposite in today's America. Because let me explain to you why I think that this coming reckoning of the market correction is going to be, I think, devastating more than any other correction that we've ever seen. Now, first of all, we're at levels, as far as index levels, as far as mega cap, blue chip stock levels are concerned, we're at all-time highs. And as old Warren Buffett said, when everybody's running to the market, you want to run away from the market. And I'm not encouraging anybody in the the True Capitalist Radio membership chat room or the Inner Circle or any of the other chats. I'm suggesting to them, hold on to their cash. And if you want to start entertaining positions, start looking at growth small cap stocks. And because traditionally what happens is when we start seeing a decline in the interest rate, which we've already been seeing here in the latter part of 2024, once the Federal Reserve starts lowering rates, that's when we're going to start seeing and feeling the impact of what the recession is. And the only people that are going to be living rich in this recession are the folks that have saved massive amounts of liquid in order to buy things on the absolute cheap. Now, going back to small caps actually go up, believe it or not, during the time of recession and coinciding with low interest rates. Because this encourages small cap growth stocks to take out money, to get lent money because the interest rates are going lower. And this is where you find value in what they're going to call a stock picker's market as we enter into recession. So once again, folks, I'm not too positive about what's going on. I know we're at all-time highs right now and everybody's celebrating. But let me tell you something. Everybody knows it. Everybody can feel it. It's just a matter of time. Remember, we've never experienced this amount of money being printed before. Take a look at this. The stock market's wild party is ending. All right, it's ending. So everybody right now, you better cash out as far as I'm concerned and save that capital. So once we start seeing a contraction, and believe me, it's not just going to be in stocks, it's going to be most commodities. It's going to be most things of any kind of value. This includes, once again, cars. We're going to see things going down in the art market. We're going to see things going down across the board because we are going to see a desperate attempt at people trying to sell things in order for them to maintain their lifestyle. So, I mean, I caution people, there's nothing wrong with just saving your money and playing it safe. All right? But try to tell that to these morons in this country. And let me explain the kind of ridiculousness we are in. I think the ridiculousness that we are in this market far supersedes the 1929 hysteria that caused the 1929 crash. All right? I mean, take a look at what I'm talking about. Because of all this money that was printed out post-COVID, no one has any more respect for money. No one has respect for investment. No one cares about what they do with the capital that they have. And remember, there was a lot of money given out to these people. It was deposited in their damn bank accounts with a few stimulus packages deposited from the government, and also PPP loans and all kinds of government programs that these folks were given. And on top of which, they stayed home. It was the largest episode of personal savings in America during that lockdown, and all that has been withered away. And look, I mean, I think that we're at the latter part of it. I mean, just to show you what kind of hysteria I'm talking about, we're now in crypto carnival world again because Trump has been pro-crypto in his economic rhetoric, even though nobody really knows what he's going to do. But this just underscores the lack of respect that people have for money, the lack of respect people have for investment, and this spells it right here. Take a look at this. Meme coins like Fart Coin are riding Trump's victory to a huge valuations. Experts say it may have only just begun. The new carnival casino era of cryptocurrencies has come back with a vengeance. Fart Coin. I think it's like, what, $400 million market cap or some shit? Unbelievable. Fart Coin. You see, this underscores the type of hysteria and euphoria that we are in right now when it comes to the American consumer and the American economy. And I'm telling everybody right now, don't fall for this hype. All right? Do not fall for this hype because Fart Coin, for Christ's sake, needs suckers to buy this crap. And because we're such a man-child mentality, such immature population of people in America, people fall for this crap. I mean, you know, Dogecoin was actually intended to be made as a fucking joke. And now everybody is taking it fucking serious. It's never going to stop mining itself. It's always going to produce Dogecoin, and yet you've got people that are completely mindless who believe that it's going to make them the next, I don't know, Elon Musk or something. I mean, this underscores what I'm saying about the current market, and that's why the market is erratic. And this is going to come to a header at some point in time, and I strongly suggest to people that they should play it safe. I mean, there's nothing wrong with playing safe. Anyway, we got some Rumble rants. Belligerent Brian, I'm not answering that, all right? Menno Ray, so did I buy a house? I don't know what the hell that means. Did you buy a house? I have no idea. Arrogant bastard. So dumb question, Ghost. I currently work for Walmart, and since there are a 3-1 split back in February, the stock has risen to $40. Should I be expecting a drop in the price? Well, traditionally, now we're in a different economy since the 2009 crash. Traditionally, retailers, especially,
I'd buy that for $1.
yeah, thank you very much, especially retailers that cater to the general consumer, especially low-end kind of sales products, they typically do well. Now, what's very interesting is that, you know, Dollar General and the dollar stores, they're not doing very well. And Walmart itself has been rather shaky in its rhetoric as it explains its future guidance. So I really don't know, because remember, Walmart has a lot of competition now. You got fucking Amazon, for heaven's sake. And it's pretty damn hard to compete with Amazon. So I don't know. That's a very interesting question. I would look into your company and whether or not they have guidance to suggest that they can withstand any type of contraction. Traditionally, though, they've done fairly well. So I hope that answers your question. And feminist socialist,
I'd buy that for
all right,
$1.
I'll get to the buy me a coffees in just a second. I don't know what the hell that means, feminist socialist. I've been perma-bear for a year. I have no idea what that means. And arrogant bastard talking about the Haktua coin that just got rug pulled. All of you simps that bought the Haktua coin, believe it or not, you know that stupid broad Haktua? She actually put out a coin, and I don't know if it's her or the people that backed her up. I have no idea, but it literally got rug pulled from everybody who invested, and now people are there with their prick in their hands hoping that they got a Haktua. All right, so let's see what happens with that. And Menno Ray, did I fuck up by buying a house then? Should I be worried? Menno Ray, it depends on the market. If you're in Austin and you bought, I think you're in big trouble. If you're in L.A., you're in New York, well, New York maybe not. Miami, Atlanta, I mean, these are very hot markets that you got to take a look at the prices of a house when it was around 2020, 2019, and compare the amount it has gone up from the time at which, like around 2019, houses were kind of, you know, they weren't that expensive, you know, because at the time, this was before COVID, believe it or not, when Trump appointed Jerome Powell as the Federal Reserve Chairman, remember, he started raising rates with Janet Yellen. Remember, he succeeded Janet Yellen. They started raising rates, so the housing market wasn't that great, and I was able to scoop up a property during that time that wasn't pretty. Actually, it's raised 100% since then. So I still think that there's value depending on the market. You know, these mid-sized markets right now are looking attractive because everybody's wanting to get away from the goddamn city. You've got small markets now that are being invaded by city slickers, which many of those small communities don't appreciate. So remember, the housing market is like anything else. You got to evaluate the price. You got to evaluate the price that it's gone for the past, 5 to 10 years. And if it's on an upward trend, I mean, unless you foresee the neighborhood that you're going into or the city falling in despair, I mean, it's pretty good that it's going to continue going up. All right, unless it's an oversaturated market. For instance, you could have bought an Austin, Texas home for $500,000 in 2020, 2019. That home right now, that $500,000 home is around $2 million right now, going down though. But that's how inflated the market was in Austin. So it depends on where you're at there, Menno Ray, and I hope that helps you there. And Marshall, can't believe Tanoid didn't unlock the manifesto. All right, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. All right, give me a break. All right, thanks a lot, Marshall Bernsey. But anyway, once again, Fartcoin, $400 million market cap, an underscore of the erratic, irrational investment, the lack of respect for money. And I'm telling you, when the correction happens, it's going to be a reckoning that I don't think people are ready for, if you want my opinion. Anyway, since we're talking about cryptocurrencies and all that other stuff, let me go ahead and cover crypto here because we are in a wild market in crypto. Now, let me give you an explanation here about where I think crypto is going at this point in time. Now, everybody is getting on the Bitcoin bandwagon because you've got a lot of folks in the international community and now the United States wanting to buy a Bitcoin reserve for their country. And let me tell you, I think that anyone who is buying in at $105,000, $106,000, I'd be very questionable on whether or not you're going to ever see a fucking return when it comes, or at least a generous return. I mean, $106,000? What are you getting for $106,000? You could buy a fucking Bentley for $106,000 and still have enough money to drop on a goddamn bike, a motorcycle. Are you kidding me? What do you get for $106,000? And let me tell you, I think that this is a huge Ponzi scheme, in my personal opinion. And the governments are in on it because who's running the governments now? The PayPal mafia. I hate to say, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, these people that have been promoting Bitcoin, these people that have been promoting this crap. And now that they've got somebody in office like Trump who is now advocating that they want some kind of Bitcoin reserve, first of all, what the fuck does that mean? I mean, you have to understand, folks, okay? Bitcoin, the only thing that gives Bitcoin its value is United States dollars. All right? So this value of 106,000, that's US dollars. Okay? So what I'm saying is that if it's dollars that creates the Bitcoin value, then why the fuck do we need a reserve for Bitcoin? I'll tell you what the scheme is, okay? These folks that are all bigwigs, but mostly Bitcoin is owned by a half a dozen huge whales, and everybody else has got a fragmented piece of it. But these huge whales, what's going to happen? It's going to be the huge, like one of the biggest transfers of wealth where nobody gets a goddamn thing except a digital bullshit or whatever you want to call Bitcoin at this point. All right? What's going to happen is if the governments start buying Bitcoin for a supposed Bitcoin reserve, it's going to pay off every one of these morons that have been gobbling up this Bitcoin, from BlackRock to MicroStrategy to whoever the hell Satoshi is, the guy who created the damn thing, and it's going to create the biggest transfer of wealth that, I mean, where did it come from? I mean, what exactly is Bitcoin at this point? Remember, the initial idea of Bitcoin was decentralized currency. And now you've got a lot of these goofs claiming that it's not a currency, it's now an asset class. An asset class based on what? Based on what? It's based on the belief that it is. There's no intrinsic value on this damn thing. And I'm telling you right now, the reason it's going to be the biggest transfer of wealth is because these people that own the majority of it, the BlackRocks, the MicroStrategies, Satoshi, and all these other dorks that were the first ones mining it and shit back in the old days, these guys are not only going to get paid because the value is going to go up because governments are going to buy Bitcoin from them and they're going to cash out from them, heightening the price. And what's going to happen? What's going to happen, folks, is there's a vested interest now in shorting Bitcoin at these fucking levels and crash it down to the ground. And the people that are there shorting it, which are all the top 10 Bitcoin holders, in my opinion, they are going to be generously rich when this fucking Bitcoin crashes. And it's not very hard for it to crash, folks. Like I said, there's like 12 fucking entities or 12 people that own the majority of this crap. All they have to do is sell 15% of their holdings, less than that, 10% of their holdings at one time to crash the market. And then everybody's going to start selling. And when they short this market, they're going to make money that I don't think you people can even imagine. Let me give you an example. The evil George Soros in the 90s shorted the British pound. And was able to make $1 billion in one day. Now take a look at how much value the British pound is compared to the dollar. It's not much. It's around the dollar, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. All right, he crashed the pound and was able to make $1 billion. Just imagine how much money you're going to make if you crash a Bitcoin at 106, 107, 110, 150,000, wherever this damn thing finally goes and stops. Just imagine how much money you can make shorting that shit. And you're a part of it. You know, the fucking 12 entities own Bitcoin. All one or a combination of entities just got to sell 15% of their holdings and crash the market, and boom, short it at the same time. And they've made money buying it through over-speculating it. They made money selling it whenever this government or other governments buy it for their supposed fucking Bitcoin reserve. And they're going to make a huge fortune shorting it. Okay? So please fucking believe me when I suggest to you that if you're going to look at anything in the long term, I've been suggesting, right? I've been saying XRP, Ripple, or Cardano, because the guy from Cardano is in the ear of Donald Trump. So the guy who created this is basically helping frame whatever crypto regulation that we're going to have. And because Cardano has called some kind of an olive branch truce with the people of XRP, they're creating some kind of a pact in order for these particular blockchains to be able to control the actual transactions of cryptocurrency in the future. So I'm just saying, all this other crap, I guess they're valuable, but I think many of these goddamn cryptos are going to be left out in the cold when regulation finally comes in. So I caution people right now, do not, and I repeat, do not entertain, and if you do, you run a huge risk at any moment, because remember, this shit doesn't sleep. I mean, this shit could tank 15% while you're crashed out. And by the time you want to sell, you've already lost most of your investment. And if not majorly in the hole. So just keep that in mind. I mean, I'm not saying that there's not money to be made. There's a lot of over speculation. I just showed you fart coin and all that shit. But please keep in mind when I suggested that Bitcoin, there's a vested interest right now to not only run it up, but to short it and crash it and make a fucking fortune shorting this son of a bitch. Keep that in mind, all right? Anyway, Blade the Stellron Hunter, what's up, Ghost? Nice to see you're live, currently at work. Hey, well, don't work too hard, Blade. Cheers to you. And Anna Wiz, urgent message. This is Anna's fiance. My Anna died 4 days ago due to Oh, are you kidding me? Anna Wiz had told us sometime that they were going to have some cancer surgery. And apparently, Anna Wiz died. She was in remission, came back, and she was fighting for weeks. Thank you for a great show. Goodbye. Sorry, Anna Wiz. Man, it's just so many people.
I'd buy that for $1.
You know what I mean? So many people. All right? Anyway, Arrogant Bastard will be rats fleeing a sinking ship once people move to Ethereum. Well, I'm not a big fan of Ethereum either, dude. I mean, I've told you about Ethereum. The whole NFT nonsense, and everybody, this is Ethereum right here. The whole NFT nonsense was a smokescreen for Ethereum to kind of, for their lack of development of their smart contract technology. That's what NFTs were. All right? And they came up real short of their fucking white paper description of what the smart contract technology was going to produce. And, yeah, I don't know about all that, dude. I think Ethereum is way overinflated. And believe me, I promoted Ethereum back in 2017. I was selling mining contracts. Remember, I sold mining contracts? And people thought I was nuts. They're like, I'm not paying $800 or $1,000 for an Ethereum mining contract. Dude, that was when Ethereum was like $15-20. Anybody who bought an $800 mining contract from me back then, I mean, if you didn't make $70,000 or $80,000, you're a moron. All right, at least. If you didn't make at least $70,000 or $80,000 during that shit, then you just gave your Ethereum away. But anyway, let me get to some Buy Me a Coffees here. And cheers to everybody who got Buy Me a Coffee. Let's start off with the one and only Duke Orbill, man, with 10 beers. All right, put the PC shot on. 10 beers, Duke Orbill. And Duke Orbill says, I predict Fed rate cut tomorrow to 4.25%. Now, let me tell you, I don't know how the market's going to react to that, but as I was just alluding to, Duke, I'm sure you know, as the Federal Reserve cuts rates after a substantial time of monetary tightening, that's when we start seeing the recession, baby. All right, that's how it is. That's how it is. And by the way, cheers to all the new members. And by the way, if you're not a member of the True Capitalist Radio membership chat, you're missing out, man. We single-handedly broke the story of that radioactive material that went missing in Jersey, and we're going to talk about that here in a second. And I accredit everybody in that chat room who worked very hard finding that. All right, so cheers to you guys in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. You guys are great. Cheers to Duke Orbill once again. All right, and then we got Jeffrey Ghosteen, will you service my schmeckle? Really funny. And then we got Kits does a flip, deleted message. I like how I got my testicles deleted. Oh, I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean. And hey, what is this? Refresh, Joey N-word hacked my account. Okay, serious question. When you bring up the femcell shooter in Wisconsin, all right, here we go. You're already getting ahead of me. So I can say something about femcell, female incels. Why are these femcells women who are only single because they're ridiculously high standards on men they want? That's at least 3/4 of them. The other half tend to be ugly women who give up on sex in general and become natalist shitholes. That's horrible. Because of the shitty protest reasons. Have you noticed this shit? Yes, I have, and I am going to talk about that here. Kits Doesn't Flip. All right, so cheers to you, man, and thank you for chilling with us today, all right? And then we got the base department. End show. No one cares about your shitty and political Yahoo news and that gets community noted. I don't ever get community noted, you dumb jerk off. All right, I got community noted because of one video, for fuck's sake. All right, and it wasn't off topic. It wasn't deceitful, all right? It was just the video, I guess, wasn't, I guess, what it was. So it is what it is. As a matter of fact, I think community notes are great. All right, I mean, they validate shit. There's a lot of shit going out right now about a bunch of subjects, and it's good to know that you got folks out there, finding really what's going on. You know what I mean? Anyway, since we're going to go ahead and talk about these subjects, let's make a transition, no pun intended, all right, to some domestic news here, all right? Now, put the PC shot on. Recently here yesterday, there was a shooting at a Madison school called Abundant of Life Christian School. Now, the shooter has been identified as Natalie Ruppnow, or Samantha, quote unquote. Now, what's really mind-boggling is that we don't really know a lot about what this person is. I guess I'm trying to be politically correct about it because allegedly, at least according to many people on social media,
I'd buy that for $1.
Tesla Cyberhive decided to take shit seriously again. Oh, well, thank you, Tesla. Thank you for becoming a member, and cheers to you. And like I said, I mean, if you're a member and you were sitting there, 3 nights ago when we were investigating this, everybody that was a part of that got freaked out once the New Jersey radioactive material missing thing all of a sudden went viral. But, hey, thank you, Tesla Cyberheart. But once again, after this horrific shooting, and I killed 2 people, it was at a school. It killed a student and a teacher, I believe, and it wounded, I think, a few people. And right off the bat, there was a lot of speculation rolling around the internet that this was somebody that was either transgendered. And I can't confirm or deny this because when I try to go look to see if this person was a transgendered, you've got this idiot chief over there in Wisconsin coming out and not being very candid with the people out here. I mean, your community has just had a mass shooting event. You would think that you would want to give as much information to the public as possible on some kind of a motive why. And then when he was asked, I'm talking this chief out here in Wisconsin, when asked, it was alleged that this person is transgendered. This was the chief's answer here, right? This was the chief's answer, which I find it rather interesting. Put the PC shot on. All right. Police respond to claims about Wisconsin school shooter whether she was transgendered. All right, take a listen.
I don't know whether Natalie was transgender or not. And quite frankly, I don't think that's even important. I don't think that's important at all.
How is that not important?
Buy that for $1.
How is that not important? Drunk Aussie, but let's spastic tonight as a member. Thank you very much, man, for becoming a member of the True Capitalist Radio member chat. I will be in that chat room at the end of this broadcast. So anybody that wants to chill with us after the broadcast, cheers to you. But once again, of course it matters. I mean, no offense to this brother here who's the chief.
I'd buy that
but
for $1.
I'll be honest with you, and I'll get to you in a minute there, Jag Deluxe Ray. Didn't Black Lives Matter once upon a time? Didn't Black Lives Matter? Of course it matters. All right, because we need to establish a motive on why this person would go into a school that I think it housed everything from K through 12. I mean, of course it matters. I mean, was this guy trying to make some political statement by doing this? Because this is what makes this very, very weird, because I can't validate whether this person that committed this act, whether they were a trans man, whether they were a trans woman, or whether they were a femcel, much like what Kits Does a Flip just said in the Buy Me a Coffee, I can't figure it out. And there was some kind of manifesto that was leaked out there that was supposedly this person who committed this heinous act, but it's now been invalidated. So, I mean, I wish the authorities would be a little bit more candid about the situation here, because this is the kind of shit that puts people in conspiracy mode and start thinking that this is PSYOP and all this other crap. All right? These are public servants, and this guy right here, whoever this, I think he's the chief of Madison, Wisconsin, he should be ashamed of himself trying to sit here and, I don't know, trying to make a political statement that it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter if they're transgender. Everything matters when it comes to a school shooting, you jerk off. Anyway, listen to this idiot's response one more again.
I don't think that's even important. I don't think that's important at all. I don't think that whatever happened today has anything to do with how she or he or they may have wanted to identify. And I wish people would kind of leave their own personal biases out of this. We have people...
It's not personal bias, you idiot. There has now been an ongoing trend here in the latest, at least 6 of the past shootings that I can recollect here in the last 5 to 6 years that have been conducted by trans men and transgendered women. So, I mean, is this a trans man or something? This person sounds like they're taking offense to this. You're supposed to be a police officer and invalidate yay or nay. All right, give us the facts. If this is a femcel, if this is a trans man, if this is a transgender, that is a pertinent piece of information. It provides elements to a motive. For heaven's sake, this fucking idiot looks like RuPaul. Why am I not surprised?
Who showed up to work today to help kids be better who are not going home. And we have lost members of our community who are children, including the shooter. So whether or not they were transgender is something that may come out later.
Oh, it may come out later? It may come out later. You should be telling us that, you fucking prick. All right, you're a public servant. I mean, unless you're trying to hold it because it's evidence because this person is on the run, which is not the case here, then maybe I'd understand it. But this is ridiculous. And look, even though I wasn't very excited about Trump being elected, the fact that the Republicans won by a landslide, I hope this comes to an end. All right, I absolutely hope this fucking garbage comes to an end already. All right, this identity politics crap. You know, this idea that we have to, I don't know, coddle certain groups, for heaven's sake. I hope this fucking shit comes to an end.
For what we're doing right now, today, literally 8 hours after a mass shooting in a school in Madison, it is of no consequence at this time. And so I would encourage people to be responsible with your social media.
Oh, yeah, just shut up. All right, and look, I don't know whether this person was transgendered. I'm talking the shooter. I don't know if this person was transgendered. I don't know if this person is a femcel, but I'm going to talk on both of those groups. Okay, first and foremost, transgendered. Now, if this shooter was a transgendered, I think that this needs to come to an end. Having young children making the decision to become transgendered and to have them being prescribed puberty blockers and all this weird crap, this needs to come to an absolute end. Now, once upon a time, believe it or not, folks, back in the 90s, when California was allowing transgendered surgery and that sort of thing. All right? And hold on just a second, Gino. When California was out here trying to advocate for, LGBTQ rights back in the 90s, they allowed transgendered surgery back then. But to get transgendered surgery, one had to have a year of a psychological evaluation by a psychologist, and the psychologist had to validate that this person is of sound mind and really wants to go through with an absolute life-changing surgery like transgendered surgery. And you had to be over the age of 18. Why can't we go back to that? I mean, I think that is perfectly feasible on transgendered surgeries because, look, it's obvious that giving puberty blockers and hormones, especially to young growing children, is a recipe for something that is very violent, at least if we look at many of the past mass shootings. A lot of confusion, isolation. I mean, there's a lot of things that transform not just the physical body of a growing pubescent child, but also the mental capacity, the mental thoughts. So I hope that the Republicans that are in power and Trump, I hope he was for real about this, sign into law a anti-transgendered kids law, in which children under the age of 18 that think they're transgendered, well, they're just going to have to role play as transgendered with their parents, and there should be no doctor that gives these children any kind of puberty blockers or any kind of transgendered surgery at all. All right, this is an adult thing, and if you're over the age of 18 and you want to be a transgendered, that's fine, go right ahead, but I don't want to pay for it either. All right? I don't want to pay for it either. There should be no tax dollars be given for somebody that wants a transgendered surgery. All right? That's an elective surgery. That's similar to cosmetic surgery, if you want my personal opinion. And look, we're not paying for bitches. Well, I guess some simps are, but the government isn't paying for bitches to get bigger tits. I mean, unless they have breast cancer. I hear that insurance is now paying for that. But still, I mean, this should not be. This is an adult thing. Being a transgendered is an adult decision. And if you're over the age of 18 and you want to make the decision, I think you need to be psychologically evaluated to make sure that you want to make that decision. That's what they used to do in California back in the 90s. I don't see how that is a bad thing to promote. I don't see how that's a bad thing to implement. Now, when it comes to the incels or femcells, which is alleged also in this case, look, incels, all right, and femcells. For all those that don't know, incel is short for involuntarily celibate. And, of course, that translates into femcel as well. These are females that I guess are involuntarily celibate. This is a byproduct of the age that we're in, this digital age, where everybody is on a computer, on a device. We're all texting now. I mean, nobody wants to answer the phone anymore. I used to be able to call people, hey, what's going on? Everybody wants to text. Everybody wants to email. Everybody wants this, a very abstract communication, no face-to-face. They don't want to talk anymore. How are you going to be able to find someone to love if you can't communicate with them? And you see, communication is a big deal. That's why autism and Asperger's, it's a supposed, I don't know if I believe it, but hey, I'm rolling with it. It's supposedly a communicative type of ailment in which, these kids don't understand social cues. These kids don't understand how to communicate and that sort of thing. But at the same time, I mean, just because, some psychologist told you that you have a hard time, picking up social cues and you have a hard time communicating doesn't give you the license to just act that way all the time and just give up and just say, well, I don't communicate well. I'm autistic. I can say whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. And you see, that's what autism and Asperger is to me. It's a narcissistic man-child ailment that has been created by the psychological and psychiatry industry in order to pump these kids full of SSRIs indefinitely. So, I mean, we have a serious problem on our hands, whether if it's the transgendered angle when it comes to this school shooting or when it comes to the incel. Because both are psychological problems. And the only way that you're going to deal with a psychological problem is a realistic solution. And a realistic solution isn't just giving kids SSRIs or adults even. All right, it's actually dealing with the problem at hand and understanding that, hey, no matter what the world throws at me, I got to deal with it. I can't cry. I can't have a meltdown because this is what a meltdown is. All right, all this autistic meltdown shit, which I think is fucking ridiculous, excuse me. This is the consequence. This is the ultimate meltdown, going out and shooting a bunch of people because, oh, shit didn't go my way. So this is the problem we have in this country. Whether you want to believe it's the transgendered angle or the incel femcel angle, it's the same shit. Anyway, let me get to some buy me a coffees, folks. All right, then we'll get to the next topic here. And I'm sorry, we got a lot of shit to talk about out here. Put the PC shot on. And I want to say cheers to everybody that decided to become a member again. And if you want to become a member of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, all you got to do is go to buymeacoffee.com/GhostPolitics and go to become a member here, choose a tier, and you'll be a part of the True Capitalist Radio member chat. Everybody that was there a couple of nights ago when we were doing the investigation on this radioactive material, I mean, people were amazed. And cheers to everybody out there that participated, man. All right, I'm proud of that fucking chat. I am so proud of that chat. Anyway, Jag Deluxe Ray gave a little bit of a long message.
Hope this message doesn't go too long.
Let's see what he says.
But I think this might be a good capitalist subject.
Oh, yeah?
I was off work almost all of last week due to being sick, and the past 2 days I wasn't able to work due to lack of work. In fact, more than half of my shift got the same treatment because they were all sick last week too. So yeah, I'm seeing a trend here that might be related to something you possibly spoke of before.
Yeah?
So because of that, I'm having a hard time with making and saving money, and I really want to earn some additional money. Most options have more cons than pros, and they all take too much time, but you have any money-making advice and also any insight on this sick wave? I heard from numerous people I know, like family, co-workers, people I know at places I stop by. They had lots of people off due to being sick, and I'm thinking this is more of a coincidence. Probably can someone go,
Well, look, I just think people need to recognize, I mean, aside from what happened during COVID and the inoculations, and I don't want to talk about that, everybody, has their own views on that. I think people forgot that, when it comes to getting down to winter, everybody gets sick, all right? You're lucky if you don't get sick. That's why it's very important to eat nutritious foods and shit like that in order for you to kind of prohibit yourself from getting ill. I know it's easier said than done, but it also requires you getting sleep. Sleep is very important. But look, it's a natural cycle of the earth, okay? Once we get down to fall and then winter, everything dies in the winter. All plants, the trees, leaves fall off. Animals, they either die or they kind of incubate themselves or kind of put themselves into some place where, they kind of, hang out throughout the winter, that sort of thing. And everything dies. That's why springtime, it's inspiration for new life. That's why every spring you see new butterflies, you see birds, you see bees, you see, new baby woodland creatures. That's what happens. That's what happens. We get sick, man. All right, we get sick. And it happens. All right, it's not some conspiracy. We get sick, dude. Anyway, I hope you're all right, Jag, and don't work too hard, man, all right? Oh, yeah, as far as making money is concerned, Jag, I mean, all you have to do, and this goes for everybody out there, it's going to get more difficult to do this as we get closer to the recession, but all you have to do is think about a want or a need, preferably a need that people need in this market of America. Because remember, everybody in America is walking with money in their pocket or a credit card or a debit card in their pocket. All you've got to do is convince those people to voluntarily take out that money or take out that credit card, give some of it to you, and then walk away feeling good. Like, you know what? That was a good purchase there. That was a good deed that I did. That's all you've got to do. I know it's easier said than done, but that's for you to start analyzing other people. That's the difference between capitalists and everybody else. I say this all the time. Everybody else thinks that things are going to happen to them. And capitalists, we go out and we make things happen. And you have to go out, you have to observe people like, hey, how is this person making some capital? How is that person making capital? You need to read. You need to be like, oh, what are side gigs? What are side hustles? What can I do? What do I do well? Do I have any skills? Do I know how to sew? Like, I know how to sew clothes. Do I know how to make something? Do I know how to build something? Believe it or not, it's as simple as that, and you can make money. Everybody's making money. It's very easy right now, even though we're going into a downward economy. So anyway, once again, you have to look into yourself, and you got to figure out whether or not
Buy that for
you're going to take the initiative necessary to be able to go and actually, take some of your skills and your ambitions and make some capital on the side, or go to a company and work your ass off. Those are the only two, all right? And the reason I said sowing is because, look, right now, Trump is coming into power, and he's saying that he wants shit manufactured in America. So what that means is that you need to think about right now, anybody who's investing right now, anybody has any money, it'd be a very good opportunity to start creating something that you can make and manufacture here. And sewing and textiles, I mean, it's an initial grip, don't get me wrong, for some of the manufacturing tools and the material. But I'm telling you right now, production, at least with the current administration. So if you're looking to get into the entrepreneurial spirit, you've got to play to the who's in power and the tax system they're going to implement and shit like that. So that's why I said it. Anyway, what is this, Froppy? I think it's kind of creepy that grown men like you care about the genitals of a 15-year-old girl. Look, idiot, I know that you're gay, Froppy. I get it, all right? You need to understand, though, that you're not taking, or at least not to my knowledge, you're not taking any kind of hormone replacement therapy or any of this other stuff. You're just a gay male, okay? The reason why, and I'm sure, you don't want to hear this because you're gay, the reason why we're questioning this is because there is now a precedent being set that folks that are out here taking these hormone replacement, puberty blockers, whatever they are, they're starting to show that they have violent tendencies. And look, this wasn't always the case when it came to these folks. This just started to become an epidemic once we started giving these folks puberty blockers and hormone replacement therapy younger and younger. So anyway, sorry, Froppy. I know, you're trying to cope over there, but just, you hold your ass, no pun intended. We got Gino X 1987. Can you talk about Canada making Trump back off from his stupid tariff threats? Well, I'm going to talk about that in a second. No, Canada is in trouble, and I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. Thank you, Gino, and we'll discuss that. Good to see you. Hope you're well. And then, Froppy, that was a good purchase, something you will never hear from the Inner Circle member. Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, that's why people have been in there for years, Froppy. You haven't been, all right? I get it. You're around the same, gay people that probably are pause hold, and they're talking about, well, I take Doxy, and Doxy makes me HIV negative when it comes to the test. Even though I got HIV positive, I know it gets redundant, and you get tired of it. Hey, that's not my fucking problem, pal. Anyway, Marshall Bernsey with a Rumble rant. What if instead of Bigfoot, it was Big Stink? Great. And Menno Ray, I remember in April of 2020 and to December of 2022, when I was making close to $11K a month with unemployment benefits and veterans benefits.
I'd buy that for $1.
You're bragging about that shit? Get the fuck out of here. Unemployment benefits, for heaven's sake. Anyway, Kirk Johnson, she was a serious listener. Yeah, right. Kits does a flip. Flebby reminder, this moron had to make their Google Doc forgot to make their Google Doc manifesto public, talking about the shooter in Wisconsin. And arrogant bastard, Tennessee shooter all over again. This is what I'm hearing. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Devious Dave, Anna Slats interviewed her boyfriend. She was not trans. She was 15 with a manifesto that is public now. Well, now it's public. So thank you for that. And Five Finger Prostate Punch, yeah, but he was dancing around the tran crap 100%, confirms it was a tranny. And he's talking about the chief of Madison, Wisconsin. And Kits does a flip. Oh, yeah, UK banned puberty blockers recently, which is based. Yeah, no shit, that is based. Cheers to Kits does a flip. And Pookie from 713, the military will pay for breast implants. Well, that's going to come to an end. Well, I don't know. We shouldn't be paying. Look, government should not be paying for cosmetic shit. All right? It should not be paying for cosmetic crap. I don't care if it's tit jobs. I don't care if it's transgendered surgery. I don't care what it is. Nose jobs. I don't care what it is. Unless you were maimed, all right, in warfare, and you need prosthetics and you need, skin grafts, and that's the only reason why you should get cosmetic surgery. Breast implants, for fuck's sake, fucking get out of here. Sorry about that. Arrogant bastard. Problem is, you have some parents out there saying that their 3-year-old kid is gay or trans. That should be illegal. All right? That should absolutely be illegal, because if you're a parent, and any child comes up to you under the age of at least 17, all right, at least 17, if they come up to you and say that they're gay, the first thing you should ask is, wait a minute, who molested you? And if they say, well, nobody molested me, well, then you have to ask, well, then how the hell do you know you're gay? How do you know you're gay? And if they say, well, I just I just think the other is attractive. Hey, being gay is more than just being attracted, all right, to the opposite or the same sex. It's more than that. How do you know you're gay? Because the only way you know you're gay is if you've actually, been anally penetrated, for a lack of a better term. And if you've done that, I'd like for you to tell me, because you're supposed to be this kid's parent, who did that to you, and if it was somebody over the age of 18. And that's that's the first thing that you should be asking your goddamn kid if they come up to you and say they're gay. Who molested you is what you need to say. Because that's the only way they know that they're gay, is that they've partaken in this stuff. Now, if you find that they partook in some, teenage, adolescent, experimentation, and both parties were of age, well then, there's nothing you can do about it. But if the kid says, well, mom's friend, or, the teacher, or some shit like that, then that you understand that your child didn't naturally find out that they were gay because of experimentation. They became gay because somebody molested them. And that's the question that parents need to ask their children if they come to them and say that they're gay. Anyway, arrogant bastard. Oh, yeah, cheers to arrogant bastard, dude. Belligerent Brian, broken arrow incidents are surprisingly common for what they are. All right, thank you very much. And Alex the Resurrection, Ghost, when you're going to make it up to me for scamming? All right, fuck off, Alex. Tesla Cyberhard, where do you see the tech and IT job markets heading? Well, dude, with AI, I don't think it's a good deal. I think that, in my opinion, AI could pretty much almost eliminate most of IT. The only person that needs to be there is the person that interfaces with the AI in relations to securing a network. And that's about it. You don't need, I don't know, man. That's my opinion. I think that's going to happen within 5 years. All right. And I'm not answering that, belligerent Brian. All right. Mod me coward. Not even a minute into the show. Yeah, great. Yeah, that's why you're never mind. All right. Just shut your goddamn hole. All right. Anyway, look, let me continue. Oh, yeah, I got one more buy me a coffee from Pookie from 713. And Shag, if you need quick money, everybody has a credit card in their pocket these days. Get an NFC reader and bump into them and steal their... Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, anyway, and Alexander the Resurrection says nothing wrong with being penetrated. Yeah, great. Great, I'm glad you know. Aren't you a married man? Aren't you a fucking married man saying that? Does your wife know that you found your G-spot in your asshole? Jesus fucking Christ. See what I have to put up with here? All right? I hope that you're just kidding, dude. Yeah, I'm not joking around. I hope you're just kidding, because I know you're fucking married, and I hope you're just kidding. Jesus Christ. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on. I didn't mean to, take that long on all these buy me a coffees and rumble rants, but let's continue, all right? Now, we're going to move from the shooter in Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin, to Luigi, all right? Now, for all those that are out there that have been living under a rock, all right, there was some guy by the name of Luigi Moroni, or whatever the fuck his name, Pepperoni, or whatever the fuck his name is, all right? Here he is right here, okay? Here's Luigi Pepperoni, or whatever the fuck his name is, shooting a CEO of an health insurance company in the back, and he's now being praised by social media and leftists. And I think this is very, very horrible that you've got the internet praising this guy for shooting a health insurance executive. Because it's not the health insurance executive that should necessarily be targeted, nor is killing this guy going to change the problem. It's not going to change the problem. And by the way, lest we forget that this Luigi Mangoni, or whatever the hell his name is, if you take a look at this guy's life, this guy is a blue blood. His family made most of their fortune in healthcare. I mean, this guy went to Ivy League schools. I mean, any one of you people would have loved this guy's privileged life. And yet, how did this guy go from being privileged, where he can go out on European trips and without any kind of financial hassle? How can this guy go from an Ivy League college and do all this shit to all of a sudden he wants to go and shoot an executive of a health insurance company in the back? It's radicalization of the higher education. All right? It's college, folks. When you send your kids to these fucking Ivy League colleges, they radicalize these children to the point where they induce what you're seeing right here. And I'll be honest with you, I'm surprised we haven't seen more of this, considering all the radicalization of these disgusting, despicable professors out here. And that's why I keep telling everybody that even though you may be rich and you're giving your child everything, okay, that isn't that isn't the best thing to do. Sending them to the best schools, giving them the best money has to offer. This is not a recipe for building a successful person, and this is a very good consequence of that. Now, let's talk about the motive, right? The motive is like everybody, they don't like health insurance companies because health insurance companies, they don't cover everything. Or let's say Granny, needs some kind of major surgery, and health insurances are denying. Some kid needs some major surgery that's going to cost a lot of money, and the insurance denies it. Listen, the problem is not the health insurance companies, even though they have a monopoly over our health. The problem is Obamacare. Do you understand that? The problem is Obamacare. This is why we have such vehement hatred towards people in the health insurance industry. You folks don't understand. What Obamacare did was gave a monopoly over our health to the insurance companies. And you see, it went from patient-side care to now insurance-side care, meaning that the doctor has now a vested interest, a financial interest in making sure that there's something wrong with you all the time. And the reason is, folks, is because the insurance companies will pay them based upon certain ailments and certain treatments. And not only will they be paid by the insurance company, they'll be paid by Medicare. So, folks, show me somebody with the best health care money can buy, and I'll show you somebody that's habitually sick. Show me somebody with the best insurance in the goddamn world. I'll show you somebody that has a pillbox regimen taking about 6 to 7 pills a day. You see, that's the problem with our health care. And you see, it's the biggest con of all time. Because one part of the Obamacare con is that all the healthy people, all right, that are forced to pay for insurance, that never get sick, or they don't fall and break their ankles or break their legs and shit. They're fairly healthy. These folks are paying for all the folks that are sick and old. It is the biggest con of all time. And on top of that, why does everybody like Obamacare? Because people think that because they have access to a doctor at will. I mean, I know people that go to the doctor. I got a sore throat, I'm going to go to the doctor. I got a sore throat, I'm going to go to the emergency room. They think because they have that kind of access is the reason why they like Obamacare. And yet, the people that love Obamacare and the people that go to the doctor all the time, they can't make a correlation with the fact that the reason that they're habitually sick and the reason that they seem to be having younger and younger people with these pill regimens and that have cancers and have all this shit is because there's an interest now. The way the doctors get paid is through the insurance company. And you know, these doctors, they like to ride Mercedes, they like to have $1 million houses and shit. So what they're going to do is they're going to purposely try to find, you know what, folks? The human body sometimes, it has growth sometimes. All right? It's what you do with your body. I mean, you could be eating something wrong. You could be leaning on a part of your body causing some kind of a cyst. I mean, there could be a lot of things that happen that are benign. All right? That are benign, that you can live with. You have a long-term life that you can live with. But not anymore. Not anymore, folks. What they do, what these doctors do, they try to find anything, even benign growths. They'll say, oh, well, we got a growth here, and, we're going to have to, we have to extract it, and then we're going to have to give you chemotherapy. And you see, folks, the doctor gets kickbacks from all that shit. You understand? They get kickbacks from chemotherapy. Look it up. It was a fucking article on NBC back in 2001 when they started. They get kickbacks on chemo fucking therapy. All right, they get kickbacks from all these fucking drugs that are advertised to us on the goddamn tube. You know, I can't believe we live in a day and age where people are just accepting cancer diagnoses, allowing these doctors to cut them open and extract this shit, and then still having to go through chemotherapy. And I got drugs advertised to me on television, advertising like, hey, do you have cancer and you're going through chemotherapy? Well, take these pills and it'll give you an extra, 20 months to live. Take these pills, it'll give you 20 to 48 more months to live. Are you fucking kidding me? I knew people that had fucking cancer back in the fucking 70s and 80s that got the shit extracted, never went through fucking chemo, and are still alive to this fucking day. Are you fucking kidding me? I want to tell each and every one of you, this was not common in America, where fucking kids were dropping dead, fucking kids getting cancer, all kinds of cancer diagnoses out the fucking ass, people dying. Yeah, this was not fucking common. I mean, it was a tragedy when somebody under the age of 50 died back in fucking 60s, 70s, and 80s. It was a tragedy. It was like, oh my God, what happened? Now it's happenstance. It's fucking unbelievable. And it's because of Obamacare. And this fucking idiot Luigi and all you people that are putting this guy on a pedestal, you're focusing your energy on the wrong fucking entity. You should be focusing it on the fucking idiots that created Obamacare, because that's the fucked up fucking shitbird healthcare we're under. And let me tell you something, man. I'm an older guy. I don't take no fucking pills. All right? I don't take no pills. Everybody thought I was an idiot my whole life because I'm not taking those pills. I'm not taking that shit. Everybody thought I was an idiot. And look at all the people that thought I was an idiot. They're all dead. All right? They're all fucking dead. So, look, this fucking guy, Luigi, he should not be put on a pedestal. All right? This guy, if he really wanted to do something with the healthcare industry, he should have used his wealth and his influence, his family's influence, in order to run for some shit, in order for him to write policy and to change the fucking system. All right? That's how you do it. That's the fucking country we live in. You don't fucking just go out there and blow people away because, oh, it's not fair. It's not fair. He didn't give my buddy his AIDS drugs or whatever the fucking motive is. We don't know the motive. All right? But whatever the motive is, it's ridiculous. This is a fucking privileged kid. This fucking grew up in a multi-million-dollar family, went to Ivy League college, had everything handed to him on a silver platter, and yet somewhere along the line, this moron thought that this was the path he wanted to take. Unreal. Unfucking real, dude. Anyway, I don't want to put too much emphasis on that brat, because believe it or not, I don't think he's a hero. I think he's a fucking moron. I think he's a consequence of the situation that we have here when it comes to mental health in this fucking country. Anyway, let me get to some Rumble rants. Exact same takes as Ben Shapiro. What are you fucking talking about? Luigi's adored by most people on both sides. Yeah, that's because you people are fucking idiots. All right, that's why. All right, if you're upset with the health care, well, why don't you do something about it instead of being some fanning your nuts jerk off like yourself, excrement, which is what you do? Why don't you go out and run for some shit or create right policy? Figure this shit out. instead of pissing and moaning. But no, it's fucking easier to piss and moan, isn't it? Jesus Christ, arrogant bastard. Ghost United had a 32% deny rate versus the industry standard of 16. If anything, I'm surprised this bozo didn't see his death coming. Well, listen, you should blame the people who created Obamacare. All right, because they're the reasons why we're forced to go through insurance for our health care. All right, you should blame those people. All right, these fucking idiots are just allowed to do this because they're mandated by the government. They're backed up by the government. That's why these fuckers can do this shit. So give me a break. And what is this? Belligerent Brian, don't take pills. This explains much. You should consider it. Well, look, Belligerent Brian, I get it. I've heard you on Radio Graffiti. You sound like you've got HIV from the effeminate Brit Bong voice that you got. And given the fact that you're obsessed with feet and always tweeting feet pics at me, I can only imagine that, you probably, let's just put it this way. You bend over, you probably see a rosebud, you sick son of a bitch. Anyway, let's go ahead and transition, no pun intended, and let's talk a little bit about Trump, all right? Let's go ahead and do this shit. Now, Trump actually gave a press conference at Mar-a-Lago yesterday, and he actually was introducing a multi-billion-dollar investment that's at least a commitment. Let's see if they actually build some shit. SoftBank, the Japanese company, has pledged an investment in the United States, multi-billion-dollar. And, I think that's a positive step. Now, the press conference. Let's talk about what he talked about, the 5 takeaways from the press conference, all right? Now, Trump has now backed away from his anti-vaccine approach that he was advocating during the campaign in 2024. Now, Trump was asked if he believes that RFK Jr., his pick for Health and Human Services, would revoke any vaccines in which Trump said no, but added, I want him to come back with reports as to what he thinks, and we're going to find out a lot. So there it is right there. So if anybody, was thinking that, oh, look, the vaccine thing was going to end and no more COVID vaccine, no more this, no more that. Well, there you go. Bunch of bullshit. Number one. So sorry, guys. All right. Anyway, Trump downplays his daughter-in-law, Laura Trump, joining the Senate. Now, believe it or not, there's going to be a vacant Senate seat in Florida because of little Marco Rubio becoming the Secretary of State, which I actually agree with. I think Marco Rubio deserves that Secretary of State spot. I think he's more than qualified, and he's kind of a hawkish type of an individual. So cheers to that. But it was expected, I was assuming, that Trump wanted DeSantis to appoint Laura Trump to the Senate seat, and it seems as if DeSantis does not want to do it. DeSantis absolutely doesn't want to do it, so that's going to be a very interesting situation because that's a vacant Senate seat that needs to be filled because I'm going to tell you a little bit of the situation with the House here in a minute. But we'll see what happens with that vacant Senate seat by Marco. And Trump vows to make U.S. rich with tariffs. Now, look, I think that you can. The way he was talking about it at the press conference was a little bit more detailed and nuanced as opposed to his abstract, we're going to tariff everything 20% coming into the country. And he's talking a lot like the 2016 Trump here, where he wants to negotiate trade deals. I agree with them on this. I've been saying this since 2009, 2010. It is not fair that the United States has these tremendous imbalanced trade deals with everybody. And I get it. We're the consumer country and we're a rich country, and I get that shit. But if we're going to let you into our market with little or no tariffs, then it's only right that we have products in your market for little or no tariffs. And that's not what happens. You know what I'm saying? That's not what happens. And you see, Trump was saying, look, I want to charge tariffs, but, it's because these people don't want to negotiate. It's because these people think that America is just supposed to carry this imbalanced trade deal and make their country rich. So I don't think that he's going to be as gun-ho as he was touting in the 2024 campaign. I think this is a little bit better of rhetoric, and I'm a little bit more comfortable with the rhetoric now that he nuanced it and said, look, we're negotiating. It's a negotiating tactic. You know what I mean? It's a negotiating tactic. So that was positive. All right, that was positive. Now, he criticized Biden, all right, over the New Jersey drone response, which we're going to get to, by the way, here in a minute. And he says that he doesn't really understand why the government isn't telling the people why these drones are there. He says that he knows that the military knows what it is. He says that he knows that the military knows where it came from. And he said that why Biden and the government is keeping this from the American people is unbelievable. And one thing that he did say that I thought was rather interesting is Trump said that these drones seem to be really prevalent around his property, Bedminster in New Jersey. He said they really are all around Bedminster. And he said, I'll tell you what, I'm not sleeping at Bedminster anytime soon. And I actually chuckled at that because, yeah, no shit. No shit, I'm not. I got these fucking drones, and we know these are government drones. I'm going to talk about it in a minute. All right? But I thought that was rather funny. But I agree with Trump on this. But I'll tell you why they're being silent about it in a second. But I do agree we shouldn't be this fucking coy about what the fuck's going on. And the foreign policy situation. Now, this is a very interesting things that he said. He said that President Xi Jinping is his friend, and he's an amazing guy. And he said that China and America could solve the world's problems if we come together. So I'm hoping that was a signal to China that, look, we get it. You're all about, death before dishonor. We get it. You're a fucking hard nose. Take the chopsticks out of your fucking ears and recognize that the only way China survives is if we continue to purchase your crappy products. And the only way we're going to continue to purchase their crappy products and not continue the decoupling that we are currently doing with them is if they fucking, play ball and not be such an imbalanced trade deal, mooching piece of shit. So, look, I'm open for China to fucking come to their senses and realize that they're nothing without the United States, and they need to fucking pipe down, and they need to bow down to their master, all right? And that's the United States. Since we've rose tariffs on them, and by the way, Trump wasn't the only one that did tariffs. Remember, fucking Biden inherited those tariffs, and he doubled down. He doubled down on those tariffs. And Biden started decoupling from China and taking means of production and putting it in Vietnam, putting it in Mexico. So right now, China, in my opinion, is at a vulnerable situation. And I think that if they come to their senses, we can make a deal. And I think this is Trump trying to butter up Xi Jinping. Even though I think Xi Jinping's in trouble. We'll talk about that in a minute. But anyway, the next thing he said is that he expects Hamas to give back the hostages that have still been missing, or they still have, from the October 7th attack. And he said that if they're not given up by the time he is in office, that all hell will break loose, is what he said. All hell is going to break out. So for all you folks that thought that, I don't know, this Palestinian situation and this Israeli situation was going to, calm itself with Trump in office, it just got fucking Energizer lithium battery fucking packs, into fucking acceleration as far as I'm concerned. All right? Now, when it comes to Ukraine and Russia, Trump reiterated that he wanted to end the Ukraine, but, now he's not clear about it anymore. He doesn't know how to, make this come to an end. Remember, he promised that he could end the war before he was inaugurated, and I don't think that he's willing to do that. All right? And believe it or not, Zelensky is actually throwing the olive branch out here to Putin. It's Putin now saying, fuck you, I don't want to negotiate with you. So, look, if Trump can make it happen, which I don't think he can, well, let's see if he is the master diplomatic genius that even Obama thought he was. Remember, that's what Obama said when he came into power. Hey, don't worry, they'll love me. And look at how that worked out for that piece of crap. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about Trump and his nominees for cabinet, and one of which is now starting to disturb me. Well, there's many of them, all right, but one of them that started to disturb me is this Pete Hegseth guy, all right? Now, look at this. Senate prepares for Kavanaugh 2.0 with Trump's pick Hegseth. I think that this is a very misguided headline here because this is not Kavanaugh. All right, Kavanaugh was some dumb bitch that, I don't know, decided to remember 40 years later, I don't know, that Kavanaugh grabbed her ass or some shit on a makeout session in some party, and she pretended that, oh my God, I can't live on, or whatever the fuck she claimed. It was bullshit. All right, we all know it was bullshit. There was not a shred of that, not even physical evidence, nothing. There was nothing to corroborate this bitch's story at all. Nothing. Now, with the Hegseth situation is a completely different story. I actually liked Hegseth when he was a Fox News commentator. All right, I mean, he's a veteran. I mean, he fought for our country, and I mean, I like the guy. Unfortunately, when you're nominated, especially to a position like the Department of Defense, the media, everybody's going to crawl up your ass with a fucking microscope, and that's exactly what happened here. Now, folks, I mean, we've talked about Hegseth and this alleged, and look, I'm not really too sure if I can say alleged, but I'm going to continue to say it anyway. This alleged rape that Pete Hegseth is hanging over his head. Now, there hasn't been any charges related to him raping this said woman, all right? But he settled out of court. He settled with this woman out of court. And you see, how do you settle with a woman out of court when you know you didn't rape that woman? I mean, I just don't understand that. How do you do that? And guess what? Hegseth, he's going full throttle. He's like, hey, we're going to release the accuser from confidentiality, and we're going to go to war with her. All right? We're going to tear her up. We're going to tear her up. Even though the broad that you're trying to yank out of confidentiality, Hegseth, you settled out of court with her. I mean, how the fuck can you deny that you did this when you settled, you gave this bitch money? You gave this bitch money. And on top of this, it's very hard for us to believe you, especially those of us that had a little optimism in you there, Hegseth, because you've been divorced 3 times, and every time it's been because of infidelity. And the wife that you're currently with now, the rape case that you're having to deal with, happened during her marriage. So I'll tell you right now, Hegseth, just on the fact, let's just case, or rape charge, I should say, let's just leave that out of the question. Just on the fact that you continuously have divorces because of infidelity suggests that you can be compromised and you can be blackmailed. All right? And I certainly don't want somebody that is the head of the Department of Defense that will, I don't know, give post-coital secrets, all right, to some bimbo because, she rocked his world over here. All right? I mean, I want somebody that knows that, hey, look, if you got to keep it in your pants, all right? You're the Department of Defense here, all right? I mean, this ain't no Diddy party. All right? I mean, I'm sorry. I want my Department of Defense not to be exploitable because some piece of ass comes his way. All right? I mean, by the way, that's how James O'Keefe, former Project Veritas guy, that's how he gets all these morons to unload themselves. That's how he gets them. He puts them in front of some hot chick or some twink or some shit. And these fucking idiots, every time, they just let everything out. They just divulge every piece of information. And that's the last thing we need. That's the last thing we need from goddamn Hegseth. All right, so look, I don't think this Hegseth pick, I think this is going to be the second L. This is going to be the second L for Donald Trump. And look, I don't understand why Trump is doing this. I mean, the fact that he won at the margin that he won, and the Republicans, amount of Republicans that won in the Congress, you would think that you would try to appoint people that wouldn't degrade the political capital that you have going in to this nomination. And by picking that fucking sex trafficking asshole, alleged sex trafficking asshole, Matt Gaetz, I mean, look, if he didn't sex traffic, he wouldn't have stepped down. All right? In my opinion, if all that shit that was alleged by Matt Gaetz, if it wasn't true, he wouldn't have stepped down. And you see, I think that's what's going to happen here because, I mean, how the hell is anybody going to nominate this guy when all you need is a piece of tail for him to, I don't know, tell fucking secrets? Unbelievable. So look, I don't know what the hell's going to happen. I don't think that Hegseth is going to get in. And on top of which, there's not too many picks that the fucking Senate likes, allegedly. I mean, look at this. Relatively few approve of Hegseth and Tulsi Gabbard's picks. Now, I listened to the Patel guy, who is going to be the head of the FBI. And look, I'm a little concerned about him, but obviously I've looked into his credentials, and he's somewhat qualified at the very least. I mean, he's worked for the Department of Justice, from what I understand, and at least he's got that qualification. The only thing that I have that's a little bit concerning with Patel, who's the FBI pick, is that he kind of, coincides with a lot of QAnon shit. All right? And QAnon is crap. So that's the only thing that makes me apprehensive, and on top of which, I'm not crazy about the Hindu invasion of this fucking cabinet either. All right? I don't know if you guys voted for that. I don't know if y'all voted to make Hindus great again. I don't know what the hell that was, but give me a fucking break. But anyway, the reason, we already discussed the reason for Hegseth. Why is everybody now thinking twice about Tulsi Gabbard? Well, because Tulsi Gabbard is going to be, or at least nominated for, the National Director of Intelligence. And let me tell you something, folks. Tulsi Gabbard has been a devout Kremlin propaganda mouthpiece. Look at this. Ex-Tulsi Gabbard aide said that she was a devout consumer of Kremlin propaganda.
For $1.
And dude, not only, and I'll get to you in a minute, Saddam Hussein, not only did she, praise Russia. Anytime there was anything in Congress that was proposed that was against Russia, she was opposed to it. She was always pro-Russia. Always. And she was always pro-Syria as well. She's had to eat her words, I hear, in the secret meetings that she's having with senators about her praise of Assad, about her praise of Syria. And apparently in this private meeting with senators, there was a lot of eye rolls by Tulsi Gabbard, I heard, because of the constant questioning of her promotion of Russia, of her promoting of Syria. So I don't think that Tulsi Gabbard either is going to get this position. I don't even know why Trump put this broad in this cabinet seat. I think she could have been a cabinet position. Nothing in intelligence, nothing in relation to defense. She could have been, I don't know, the fucking small business fucking person, or, she could have been the Secretary of Transportation or some shit. Remember, Pete Booty Juice is the Secretary of Transportation right now. She could take over for Booty Juice. And what fucking credentials did Booty Juice have to be the damn Transportation Secretary? All right? So anyway, once again, I think these are the two L's I think that we're going to see Trump take, unfortunately. I don't think they have the support of the Senate. I absolutely do not think they have the support of the Senate. And one thing, a couple of things I want to say about Trump before we move on here. Remember, Trump campaigned on the fact that this inflation that we're witnessing is Joe Biden's inflation. And that if you elect him, that he is going to bring down inflation. Well, he's already walking back that, all right? He's already walking back that. Put the PC shot on. Trump says he doesn't believe Americans will pay more under his tariff plan, but he can't guarantee anything. All right? Well, then why did you fucking campaign on it in 2024, for Christ's sake? You made believe that you had the answer. Like, hey, I'm going to bring down prices of groceries. I'm going to bring down prices of this. I'm going to bring down... Why the fuck are you saying that you can't guarantee? You know, when I was saying this, when he was elected, when I was saying this, everybody was saying, oh, you're coping, Ghost. You're fucking coping. Yeah, he's going to bring down prices. He's going to make America great again. Oh, yeah? I told you all that every economic policy that he's advocating only... At least how I look at it, it's only going to increase the prices of everything. So that's why he's like, look, I can't guarantee everything, all right? I can't guarantee everything, guys. And Arrogant Bastard said somewhere in the middle of nowhere in a dirt hut, Al-Assad is shitting bricks, hoping the local lynch squad doesn't find him. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. But anyway, once again, no guarantees when it comes to the inflation that everybody voted for Trump to fight or to bring down prices. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. And by the way, since we were talking about vaccines and how Trump isn't going to ban vaccines, he's not going to do what and every one of you folks thought he was going to do. He's not going to do it. So I thought it was ironic that this guy, one of Trump's advisors, did y'all see this? One of Trump's advisors was honored. You know, that's what they're doing now. They're doing all this pomp and circumstance, you know, now that you've got Trump winning the election. And they had this gala where they had one of Trump's young advisors, look, a young guy, good-looking young guy, get up on the stage and say a few words and take a look at what happened to him. All right, take a look at what happened to this guy.
I'm forgetting my words. But sham impeachment.
We've seen this before. We've seen this before. Oh! Uh-oh! Uh-oh! Cut to commercial, Bobby. Cut to commercial. Anyway, look. The only reason I bring that up is because we started seeing that a lot more prevalent once people started taking the vaccines that Trump to this day thinks is the greatest thing since mankind. So I thought it was rather ironic that one of his young advisors, all right, out here collapsing in the middle of nowhere, kind of eerie, but it's kind of a sign for things to come, if you want my opinion. And I'm going to get to that five-finger prostate punch. All right, man, I know there's a lot of things to cover. I'm going to be on here for a minute, man. All right. Now, with that being said, let's move away from Trump and let's talk about Republicans here. Even though the Senate is dominated right now by the Republicans, all right, and it's a slim one. Remember, it's 52-47 for the Republicans' favor in the Senate. Remember, little Marco is going to be relieved of his seat and put in as Secretary of State. So it's very important that somebody who is Republican is going to be replaced, you know, in that seat. Well, they may, and this is what's unfortunate, folks, the House is now in play. Take a look at this. Republican House majority in peril. Now, why is this? Well, first of all, they have a very slim majority. But secondly, Trump is nominating a lot of folks that are in the House of Representatives to his cabinet positions, and they're leaving these spots very vulnerable here. Take a look at the numbers, all right? I mean, look at that fucking shit. 215 to 215. And I think Trump is nominating like 3 or 4 people from the Congress that are Republicans to these cabinet or presidential appointed positions. So now the Republican majority in the House is in jeopardy. So it looks like he's not going to have all Republicans on board into passing everything that he mentioned in the 2024 campaign. So this is where we're at now, man. I mean, even though it looked like we had a red wave there, I mean, this is the consequence when you have to nominate people for cabinet positions, and it's going to hurt us. You know, it's going to hurt the Republican Party, especially in the House of Representatives. But hey, I mean, you know what? I mean, are we really accomplishing anything now? All right. All right, are we really accomplishing anything now? We got a majority now. Take a look at this. We can't even come to an agreement. All right, take a look at this. There's always consequences. GOP rebels plot mutiny against Speaker of the House Johnson over a government shutdown. Now, I just got a report that apparently they've come to an agreement to avert a government shutdown, but I'll believe it when I see it. But as you can see, this is what we've been dealing with in the Republican-dominated House ever since 2022. You know, no unity. These people have no policy that they coalesce behind. They're all a bunch of bitchers and moaners. This is the kind of shit the Democrats used to do. And now it's the Republicans. All right? I mean, you fucking idiots in the Republican Party, y'all won the majority, dude. Can y'all coalesce behind some shit, please? And stop being a bunch of fucking jerk-offs that just want to be contrarians? I hate that shit. I hate that shit. But look, this is where we're at right now. And I just showed you that the majority, the House majority, is in jeopardy, not looking good already. All right, taking lots of L's, even though it looked like a red wave, taking lots of L's out here. And it doesn't look like Trump is going to be able to pass a lot of the things that he advocated in the campaign because of this. All right, folks, now let's go ahead and transition, no pun intended, to what everybody wants to talk about. And I'm talking about the New Jersey drones that have been in the sky for the past couple of weeks, a little bit more than a couple of weeks. And the uncertainty and the mystery behind them. Take a look at this. New Jersey residents say they are suffering alarming symptoms after encountering these drones. Now, folks, I think that now, okay, let me explain to you what I believe these drones are, okay? And the reason I led in with this article is to show you that it's gone from a deployment that was secret in order to search for something, which we're going to talk about in a minute, to now it's moved into a psychological operation. It's turned into a psychological operation in real time. Now, bear with me. There's a lot of information that I'm about to throw at you when it comes to this drone situation. Now, first and foremost, folks, all right, these are drones, all right? These are not orbs. These are not UFOs, all right? These are drones that have been implemented because there is a threat to America's national security, an imminent threat of a potential nuclear, biological, or chemical payload that is going to be detonated in the United States. And the only reason I know this is because of the deployment of technological drones that have not been exposed to the average everyday person in the general population. And what they're going and looking for is, as I stated, either nuclear material, they're either looking for chemical material, or biological payloads. Now, this is why this is such a big deal. And this is why nobody's saying anything. That's why the government is being very coy about this situation, because this would threaten the national security. This would have people go nuts. I mean, look at what the officials are saying, all right? Well, the officials are saying, hey, don't worry about it. It's just airplanes, all right? It's just a figment of your imagination. There's no drones out there. It's just airplanes. Don't worry about it. Why would the government be so coy about aircraft or drones or whatever you want to call these things in the airspace of America that's a definite threat? I mean, why the hell? It's because they know something, and in my opinion, it's because they implemented this technology because there's an imminent threat. And I personally believe it is a dirty bomb in play at this point in time. And the reason I say that, folks, is because I was in the True Capitalist Radio chat room a few nights ago. And we were studying, we actually did a lot of research. We were up up until 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, researching all this stuff. Researching about, wait a minute, if these are drones, what kind of drones are they? If these are drones, if they're sniffing for something, what are they sniffing of? And guess what? And let me show you the exact tweet that I put. Put the PC shot on. This is what I tweeted out on December 15th at 9:35 p.m. I tweeted to this person, New Jersey senator says feds are too fearful of the public reaction to tell the truth about mysterious drones. And I said because these drones are being deployed because of a nuclear threat. Nuclear material went missing in New Jersey, link below. And by the way, if you click this link, that report has gone missing. All right, they have taken it down and redacted it, which is rather convenient. So anybody who tries to say, oh, that's a bunch of bullshit. Okay, if this New Jersey radioactive material gone missing is not pertinent, then why the hell did this agency, nrc.gov, take down the report? Hence why America is starting to see this phenomena in Jersey, because this radioactive material went missing in Jersey. Now, you're not going to find that report anymore. They have taken it down. So luckily, somebody, and by the way, everybody ripped off our work that night. Everybody ripped off our work. And by the next morning, everybody was running with this story. They're still running with this story. I mean, this was trending on Twitter there all day today. And this is what it is, okay? This is an event report by the United States Nuclear Regulatory Commission about an event of radioactive material going missing. Now, I know that many people are going to say, well, Ghost, it's just, radioactive rods, for radiation therapy for folks that are in hospitals. I understand that. And I understand the rods are rather small. But you have to understand, this is a container of them. And the True Capitalist Radio chat room tried to figure out, what does that mean? I mean, a container, is it a barrel? And by the way, it is barrels. It's barrels, typical to a barrel of oil that's sealed. And one container of those contains 4 barrels of these devices that are used for radiation therapy. Now, I know that people are going to say, well, Ghost, it's only germanium, 68, right? It's only germanium 68, and germanium 68 is, not that, I've never heard of a not that bad radioactive element, but it's not that bad, and the half-life is 250 days, and we don't have nothing to worry about. Why don't you go ask AI, or go look up, go ask AI right now, is germanium 68, can it be used for nefarious purposes? And it'll tell you yes. If you have enough of this, and this is the mystery, how much is this? If you have enough of this, you could create a dirty bomb that wouldn't necessarily destroy a massive radius destruction, but the fallout, I'm talking the fallout, the radioactive fallout, the germanium 68 oxide, the carbon monoxide, all this fallout would cause massive amounts of death in the long term. And that's really what people are scared of right now, all right, in my personal opinion. And everybody ran with this story when the True Capitalist Radio chat room, and we did this. We put it out. We were the first ones to put it out. And, of course, we get no credit, but I'm glad that it's put out. So this is what I think is the reason, not necessarily this, but the reasoning behind these drones being implemented is because there is a threat, an imminent threat, that we're going to be hit up in some capacity. And that's why New Jersey, in my opinion, was the focus at first of these drones, because this is where this damn radioactive germanium 68 went missing. It went missing in Jersey. So that's why you started seeing these goddamn things throughout Jersey. Now, people are saying, well, Ghost, you know what you're talking about, man. I mean, I see shit coming out of the water. I thought these are UFOs, dude. All right, I see shit coming in from space. I mean, what are you talking about, dude? We have underground water drones that are amphibious. You know that? We have this shit already. All right, it hasn't been exposed to you people, but we have this shit. Look at this prosumer one. You can actually buy this one, by the way. This is for prosumers. This is for, look at this. Put the PC shot on. Take a look at this. This is for, you could buy this. Look at this shit. All right. Just imagine what the fucking government has. All right. So what? They come out of the water. We have that technology. It's not a UFO. I mean, for fuck's sake. All right, so for all you folks that are out there saying, I've never seen a drone come out of water. Dude, they've been coming out of water, no pun intended, for years. All right? And why do we need amphibious drones? Well, to monitor the sea, just in case there's a nuclear sub, coming our way. To monitor what's out there. And to come up, if necessary, if we see some kind of object in our airspace. So I'm telling you, folks, these things are, we've already created them. We've created drones that can come out of water. All right, we've created this shit. They're just implementing it now because there's obviously an imminent threat. I mean, it's obvious. There's no other explanation. Here's another one. All right, another example of drones in the water. Take a look at this. All right, I mean, this is possible. So whenever I hear or see these videos of, oh, look, they're coming out of the water, it's coming out of the... We've done this. We've done this shit. It's already researched and developed. I mean, this is what? Wake up. We're in the 21st century. It's going to be 2025. All right? It's going to be 2025. We have this technology, dude. All right, we absolutely have this technology. And hey, Extron Revo, I'll get to yours in just a second. Let me get through with this segment on the drones here because it's very important, and cheers to you. And by the way, you see like these weird, like cigar-shaped drones or what looks like a flying serpent. People, oh my God, it's a flying serpent. Look at this shit. We have drones that look like flying fucking serpents. Play this shit. All right, look at this shit. All right, look at this. We've got drones that can do almost fucking anything. All right? So for all you folks that are fucking saying that, no, these are weird. They're like UFOs. It's aliens and all this other shit. Thank you, Zaxton. So there you go. Okay? There you go. Okay? And on top of this, okay, some rando, believe it or not, while I was, scouring around for information about these drones and the situation about it, some fucking rando here, let me go ahead and get to this. Put the PC shot on. Some rando gives a CIA-level summary of AI-driven drones, their capability and applications. Describes much of the phenomena reported by those witnessing these recent aerial events. Now, for those folks that don't know, people have been trying to get their own vantage point of these drones, and they've put up their own consumer drones up in the sky in an attempt to try to get a better look at what's up there. And what happens is that their battery drains out within a few seconds, and their drones are grounded. So it's able to suck the battery life out of a drone. It's able to kind of interfere with radio waves. I mean, people that are in Jersey are hearing on 106.7 some fucking weird ass shit. It's able to do all this. And Drone Lover, thank you. A horrible message, but I'll get to you in just a second. But take a look at this, all right? This rando, and look, it's some autist. Look, it's some fucking Asperger's idiot. But listen to this goddamn discourse. This very, very well described little article here about AI drones. Advanced AI drones and their implications. Drones equipped with AI and adaptive frequency tuning capabilities are revolutionizing the landscape of electronic warfare. these systems can bypass traditional defenses, manipulate critical infrastructure, and potentially neutralize even the most secure facilities. Here's how they work and why they represent a significant leap in warfare and security challenges. How AI-driven drones operate. Adaptive frequency tuning. What is AI-powered drones? Okay, they can adjust their operational frequencies to match those of target systems. Much like how Alan Turing's machine cracked the Enigma code by identifying patterns. How it works. The drone sample electromagnetic signals from its environment. Using AI, it identifies patterns in the signals emanated by the power system sensors or communication nodes. The drone adjusts its own frequency until it matches the target, achieving synchronization. Bypass traditional defenses. Unlike traditional hacking, which relies on software vulnerabilities, frequency-based attacks exploit the physical properties of a system's electromagnetic emissions. This makes traditional defenses like shielding and encryption largely ineffective. Faraday cages, while these block external interference, they cannot prevent systems inside from emanating signals during normal operation. The drone locks into these emissions. Encryption systems, the encryption protects the content of communications, but does not obscure the underlying operation frequencies, leaving them exposed. AI grab systems, even isolated systems, emit detectable signals from power supplies, motors, or other electronics which drones can target. So what this is describing here, folks, is what people are witnessing in Jersey whenever they attempt to try to send up their own drone to see what's up there. Whenever they try to have their car around this place, radio starts going weird, lights are flickering. This is the capability of what these drones can do. Energy vampirism. AI drones can use resonant coupling to synchronize with the target system and drain its power. This energy vampirism can neutralize power supplies for radar, communication systems, and missile defenses. Amplify the drone's own propulsion or onboard systems, enabling extended operations. So once again, this is why the local PD in Jersey and the folks out there, they can't find a frequency where these damn drones are communicating from. This is what's making these drones in the sky so evasive. Whenever they are spotted, they turn their lights off and they evade. This is AI. These are autonomous drones that you're witnessing in the sky here. And they have all these capabilities. That's why they can't find them on radar. All right? That's why they have all these special powers, because they're not fucking aliens. They're our military assets. Let's continue. Strategic capability of AI drones. 1, infrastructure domination. AI drones can target power grids, causing blackouts or destabilizing supply to critical systems. Military bases, overloading radars, jamming communications, or disabling defenses. Nuclear facility, neutralizing launch capabilities by draining power or manipulating critical switches. Multi-drone swarms, which we have seen here in many different instances. It's been caught on camera a lot. Coordinated attacks. Swarms can share in real time, dividing tasks to accelerate the tuning process. Redundancy. If one drone fails, others in the swarm adapt and continue the mission. Let's continue, shall we? I'm telling you, this is what you people are seeing out everywhere. Now, it's not just in Jersey, it's everywhere. And this is why I'm telling you, we know there's something that's about to happen, and we're trying to prevent it. And they're implementing these tools that we have never seen before in order to, hopefully, to stop it. That's why you see these things over electrical grids. They've been seen over reservoirs and water treatment systems. They've been seen over nuclear facilities. They've been seen over bases. This is why. This is fucking why. All right, I'm telling y'all, this is why there's a lot to talk about on this broadcast. And I know there's a lot to swallow here. But you have to understand, this is what it is. This is what's in the sky. Stealth and precision. Let's continue. Small drones with low radar profiles evade detection. AI allows them to prioritize and locate the most vulnerable or critical systems in their vicinity, bypassing countermeasures. Traditionally, defenses are increasingly ineffective against these drones. Randomized frequencies, even systems with frequency hopping protocols, can eventually be matched by AI's adapting tuning capabilities. By physically isolation doesn't matter if the systems emit detectable signals. So, I mean, even if you're on a secret radio frequency, all right, the AI can detect it and manipulate it. I mean, this is fucking serious shit. Signal encryption. AI drones don't need to decrypt messages. They exploit the electromagnetic properties of the system itself. Defense strategies. AI-driven counter drones. Deploying autonomous counter drones to detect, jam, or disable hostile drones. That's why everybody that tries to throw a drone up there to get a closer look at these drones, their shit is drained, their shit crashes, or it doesn't even get up off the ground. Let's continue. Electromagnetic decoys. Using decoys to emanate false signals, distract and mislead attacking drones. Now, how are these things communicating? Quantum communication. Quantum communication, transitioning to quantum-based systems that emanate no detectable frequencies. So that's how they're communicating. That's why the fucking New Jersey PD and all these people that are trying to figure out how these damn drones are communicating, they can't. They're fucking communicating through quantum communication that AI itself created. That AI itself created. All right? And hold on, I'm almost done here. Zans, or I'm sorry, I'll get to you in a second. I'm sorry. Anyway, let me just finish this here. The threat to global security. These AI drones could enable adversaries to neutralize nuclear counterstrike capabilities by draining power, disrupting communications, or manipulating switches. Drones could render a nation's response systems inoperative, paving the way for a first strike advantage. And paralyze critical infrastructure. A coordinated drone attack could simultaneously target power plants, military facilities, communication networks, crippling a nation's ability to defend itself. So in conclusion, AI-driven tuning drones represent a new frontier in electronic warfare, capability of exploiting the electromagnetic properties of a system to bypass defenses and neutralize critical infrastructure. They are essentially modern Turing machines, dynamically sampling and adapting to their environment to achieve devastating results. Addressing this threat requires innovative countermeasures such as AI-driven defenses, quantum secure communication, and robust magnetic shielding. All right? So that's what's in the sky right now. I hope that I've given you a little bit of information to have you understand that all this like shit that people are saying, all these people that are like, oh my God, you know, I'm seeing an alien. This is not from this world, and all this other shit. Crap. Utter crap. All right, it's all us. It's all on us. This has been deployed, and they're not telling us why it's being deployed. All right, so anyway, let me get some of these buy me a coffees and Rumble rants here. All right, now I've been off Keister here, so let me get with Not That Weird RA1, and let me let AI read this. Here, cheers to you, man.
My take on Inkels is this. There's no such thing as involuntary celibacy. You just suck at being social and talking to people, especially women, like a casual person.
That's right.
I'm sorry your mom lied to you on being a lady killer and saying girls will like you automatically based on you being nice.
That's correct. That's correct.
You want to have a relationship, you need to earn someone to be attracted to you. Work on your social skills, go to a bar, learn small talk and how to be creative with it. Say everything with confidence and self-awareness. Also, reality check. The world doesn't owe you shit, because some women who is shallow as you call her for her looks, even though you do the same thing, even had enough self-respect to not date your desperate pathetic ass. You want something, work for it, and play the game and twist it in your favor. Life sucks? Yeah, no shit, it sucks for most people. Your parents should have given you a reality check and raised with a better social understanding.
Amen.
But now that you're an adult, you have to work on yourself. You either suffer for the best or suffer for the worst.
That is correct.
Your choice,
that
but
is
don't
correct.
expect sympathy, because even people with the biggest hearts have lines.
That is correct. And look, not that weird, RA. I tell these young people, I mean, why don't you go and get a job where you have to be social, where you're forced to be social, all right? So, you know, even if you aren't the best social person in the world, I mean, people still have to, you know, communicate with you under your conditions because they, you know, want to buy something from you, or you're servicing them in some capacity. And that's why I think that everybody who's out there, instead of playing video games, instead of watching anime, go out and get a social job. And it doesn't matter, especially you fucking brats that are living with your mom and dad, all right, and they're not letting you pay for anything. What are you fucking doing? You should be going out there, and it doesn't matter what fucking job you have. I mean, if you, let's say you're a fucking video gamer, why don't you go get a job at a game store, or go get a goddamn job at an arcade or some shit? All right? I mean, that's what you need to do. And guess what? Aside from communicating with people, you need to observe people communicating with each other. You need to be conscious. You need to be cognizant of observing people communicating with each other, and observe what actions, what mannerisms, what tenor of voice gets reactions from people. You got to take what works for other people and try to incorporate it into yourself. All right? That's what you have to do. I hate to say it. And that's the only way you're going to get social. All right, incels? Thank you, Not That Weird RA1. Cheers to you. Good advice, man. And Saddam Hussein, I just pulled 2 Saddam Hussein rookie cards out of the box of the Desert Storm cards. Republicans are going to collapse our economy. Trump is just a symptom of a cancerous tard party continuing to be tards. Well, let's just put it this way. They're not the best, all right? I'm not too happy. I'm trying to be optimistic, considering that we have Republicans mostly in power. Mostly in power. So we shall see, all right? And there's ZZZZ. Cheers to you, the Ghosties. This is the Ghost Show, by the way. The Ghosties are going to be either New Year's Eve or New Year's Day is when I'm going to announce them. Make sure to vote on your favorite Ghosty Awards. Cheers to you for your nominations. There's ZZZ. And happy Taco Tuesday to yourself, man. And here's Exxon or Zexon Revo. And he wanted me to take a look at this. And I think that he put it on here. So I'll go ahead and take a look at that. Or hold on, let's just take a look at this. All right, let's see what this is. All right, let's just see what this is. This better not be some fucking, something trolly or something. But I'll give it a whirl if it means that it's pertinent to the conversation. All right. What is this? No, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm not playing this. What the hell is this? I'm not playing this crap. Cup holder advert. Are you selling your cup holder or some shit? You're using my show to sell your fucking cup holder? Are you fucking kidding me? The hell is this shit? I don't trust this. I don't trust this, dude. I don't trust this. And look, if you want Xanton's Revolution, all right, there it is. Here's this cup holder, $1.99. There it is. Jesus Christ, what are you, fucking cup holder? Jesus, what am I, the fucking Home Shopping Network? And we got Drone Lover here, but you can F them and they can suck your D. Great. And he said the pickle jar is going to explain why the rubber ducky is so yummy, and the answer is to the question of the sticky note with several numbers on it. I ain't clicking that, and there it is. There's your eBay listing. Anybody who wants a cup holder, courtesy of Xanton Revo, there it is right there, all right? And Drone Lover, is quantum communication like the sonic waves you use to turn your listeners trans? Fuck off, all right? Can you fuck off? I'm sorry, folks. We're at the part where we got a lot of trolls here. I mean, this is copium because I know this is a lot of very heavy information. And look, we got some idiot claiming to be my goddamn landlord here. You better have my rent money to pay me post-show, you little rentoid bastard. Keep dancing for the lovely audience like a good little circus monkey. You fuck off, all right? I'm over here. I'm giving you fucking CIA level of a fucking assessment here about what the hell's going on with these drones, and you people are talking shit. Anyway, let me take some of these Rumble rants here. 5-finger prostate punch. As long as you don't drone out about the subject, real funny. Red Eyes Black Dragon. Gray aliens are real. They're watching us. And diarrhea erection bubble bath. I'll get to you in a minute. Devious Dave. If they aren't aliens, then why did I just get probed? Well, man, you got to talk to your boyfriend about that, man. Arrogant bastard. Is it possible to see that report in the Wayback Machine? Well, luckily enough people screenshotted it. All right, but I'm sure you probably can because we reported on. That's why I gave the link on December 15th at 9:53. And everybody, thank God everybody ran with it. At first I was kind of drunk and I was pissed. I was like, you fucking bastards are taking our work. Luckily they did. And that's why, you know, this damn story broke out. The radioactive material was lost, used for medical equipment. Dude, Devious Dave, you cannot eat this shit and you can be fine, all right? AI literally says you can't make a dirty bomb. Bullshit, Pookie. Anyway, Ghost, all you need is a Finnish fishing rig and get subs. They don't need... All right. Yeah. Hey, you know, everybody knows everything, dude. All right, snake-ass drone, keck. Yeah, real funny 5-finger prostate punch. And we've got trolling the interwebs. Hey, Ghost, thanks for doing a show. How long have you been on so far? Rumble ain't telling me. 2 hours and 5 minutes, believe it or not. And Kits does a flip. Can you give me a link to the cup holder so I can buy it? It's in the goddamn Buy Me a Coffee, man. And Belligerent Brian, speaking of heavy information, what's the ARC story with the nephew? And fuck you, all right? And Silverado dude, probe OG beer bitch. Real funny. All right. Now that we've gotten that all the way, let's get back to the drone thing. All right, I told you guys a lot of information. I told you guys of the description and the capabilities of AI drones, which was a handful, or a mouthful, but, you know, we got through it. Now, people are going to say, well, Ghost, what about space? You know what I mean? What about space? I mean, they're coming out from space. You're seeing them in the sky when people are in planes and shit. How do you explain that, Ghost? Well, we have space drones too, guys. All right? We have space drones too. Put the PC shot on. Take a look at this. Space drones, all right, being researched in Virginia Tech. All right? And here's the space simulation view of space drones. And here's the platform development. And look, this is just one team developing this shit. All right, but here's Space Drones 2.0. Space Drones 2.0, hardware in the loop simulation and validation for orbital and deep space computer vision and machine learning tasking using free flying drone platforms. So AI space drones are here. All right? They're absolutely here. Space drones here.
Buy that for $1.
Xanton Revo. Anyway, we don't need to see it, but this is basically describing drones. You know, I don't know if y'all saw, but the International Space Station saw one of these drones, and NASA cut the feed. It's a space drone. All right. I mean, this is just one research development. Does NASA have its own space drones? Yes, it does. All right, yes, it does. Put the PC shot on. NASA's Stennis Space Center employs drones as new go-to resource. So, yes, of course, we've got space drones, all right? This is all here. We're just being exposed to it right now. As a matter of fact, haven't you noticed for the past 4 or 5 years, at the end of the year, at the beginning of the year, they introduce technology that all of a sudden has just rapidly facilitated itself within the past 5 years. I mean, it is unbelievable how much they have given us as it relates to the technology they want us to know about. We've gone from AI, remember in 2022? I had that show at New Year's Eve. AI will destroy reality, and look at where we've gone now. Look at where we've gone now. Anyway, once again, these things are here. They are possible. And by the way, not only is that possible, they just came out here the other day and said that nanobots that are reproductive organisms, reproductive nanobots, are now here. Did y'all see that? I tweeted about that. Take a look at this. All right. For all those that don't know, another AI exposure to us is AI created living robots that can reproduce. Have humans become God, or is AI our new God?
Scientists created the world's first living robots, known as xenobots, which can now reproduce. These tiny machines were developed using living frog cells and are less than a millimeter in width. Xenobots can move towards a target, heal themselves when injured, and potentially carry medicine within a patient's body. They are not traditional robots or existing animal species, but represent a new class of programmable organisms. The xenobots were designed on a supercomputer and assembled and tested by biologists. These living machines, consisting of approximately 3,000 cells, form a sphere and are capable of replicating using their collective intelligence and plasticity. While the system typically dies out after one generation, an evolutionary algorithm guided by artificial intelligence allowed for the discovery of body shapes that facilitated more effective replication. The researchers assure that these living machines are strictly confined to the lab and can be easily controlled as they are biodegradable. Right now, xenobots are mostly used by scientists to understand how cells work together to form complex organisms. Their future application include cleaning the oceans from microplastics and delivering drugs to target cells in the body. Scientists can create xenobots using a patient's own cells, which helps avoid the problem of the patient's immune system attacking them. These personalized xenobots could potentially remove plaque from arteries. And
of course, they're selling it to us like, oh, it's meant to help us. All right, it's meant to help us. All right, look, with all due respect, many of you people that took the vaccine, the mRNA vaccine, already had this shit inside you. And, we were talking about this the other day in the True Capitalist Radio chat. By the way, the True Capitalist Radio chat is a serious chat. I know I have a bunch of idiot trolls who I wouldn't piss on if they were on fire, that talk a lot of garbage in the chat room. But we actually discussed some very serious subjects that are beyond the pay grade of many of these fucking people who should be incinerated and used as fertilizer for our crops. But we were talking about this the other day, these nanobots and that sort of thing. And, one of these like EMP, there are these EMP devices, these bombs that can, kind of cripple the electrical grid or the electricity in certain devices and that sort of thing. Y'all have heard about that, right? Could that be applicable to the humans that have now graphene nanobots? Because believe it or not, the mRNA used graphene nanobots to evade the immune system in order to deliver the antibody or the COVID-19 antibodies to the DNA, recoding the DNA. So that's why I'm saying, we were talking about this yesterday. Could this potentially eliminate a massive amount of people? It's like that one Bruce Willis movie, where everybody is controlling a visual representation of themselves in the real world, but they're actually controlling it from their house or some shit, and all of a sudden EMP wave comes in and everybody drops dead. All right, I'm not saying it is possible. These are questions that we ask in conversations like that in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, man. We're living the future, man. This isn't a joke. I just showed you all this evidence about water-based amphibious drones, space drones, AI autonomous drones, and that sort of thing. So that's why I think people need to ask these fucking questions. You know what I mean? Anyway, let me get to some of these. Goddamn buy me a coffees here. Put the PC shot on. We've got diarrhea explosion bubble bath. All right, let's see what the hell this is. Cheers to you.
So we had a nuclear payload that was intercepted in New Jersey? We have no idea who intercepted this payload, so we have a bunch of government drones in the sky searching in case they use this nuclear material to make a dirty bomb. Everyone who thought the drones were aliens are blissfully ignorant.
Yes, they are.
We are the United States of America, and we have technology that is beyond most civilian comprehension. Although this situation is concerning, seeing our future technology in play is gnarly and wicked, to say the least.
You're damn right.
Anyway, nice assessment, Ghost.
Thank you, man. And by the way, even though this was implemented, in my opinion, for the detection, or at least to try to detect wherever this... And look, it could be radioactive material, it could be biological material, it could be chemical material. Obviously, the threat is there that they implemented these tools, which haven't been privy to us up until now, in order to try to sniff out whatever material is in American soil. And as I stated, that's why these drones are over areas like bases. That's why they're over areas like electrical grids, nuclear facilities, water treatment plants, the whole 9 yards, all right? The whole 9 yards. That's why they're there. And Arrogant Bastard Ghost, I have always thought that the thing that took down the Malaysian flight 370 was an experimental test run of an EMP device, as crazy as that might sound. Yeah, because it just vanished. It just fucking vanished. And take a look at who was on that flight, and you'll see why. Silverado, dude, you'll think we'll end up like the movie Demolition Man? Dude, I don't think so. I mean, the way we're going, in my opinion, I think that we'll end up like the Terminator. You know, I'm not trying to be a fucking alarmist or anything, but, man, we have the ability now to have autonomous drones that... I just read to you their capabilities. I mean, AI is going to be our god. And look, they're integrating AI into everything. They're integrating it into our phones. They're integrating it into our computers. They're integrating it into our Internet of Things and shit. And guess what? AI is going to know every fucking thing about you. Everything. Every fucking thing about you. And it'll be able to make your decisions for you. It'll be able to know what you're going to do before you even do it. It's going to be able to monitor you at every single... This is way beyond the mark of the beast. And on top of which, the PayPal mafia, one of which, Elon Musk, he has this Neuralink, which now he wants to connect your brain to AI, which is fucking... I don't even know what to say about that, for heaven's sake. And Bob Filson with a Rumble rant intercepted. Do you think that we would have intercepted this material, terrorists? Bob Filson, I think that it's an imminent threat. And that's why they deployed this stuff. And as I stated earlier, that's why the government is being coy about it. They're being so coy, it's almost obnoxious. It's almost obnoxious because they're trying to claim that everybody who's seeing these drones in the sky don't know what they're talking about and that it's just planes. I'll show that article again. It's just planes. Don't worry about it. It's just planes, even though it's clearly not. It's clearly not planes. And I told you that these are sophisticated, artificial intelligent drones that are autonomous. And I just read that they can evade radio frequency, radar. They can communicate outside a spectrum that no one can penetrate, the whole 9 yards. Bob Filson's asking me, who do I think intercepted it? Well, I think it's the Russians, probably in conjunction with Iran, because they're both on the fucking ropes. All right? So it could be Russia providing the funding and utilizing Iranian, Hezbollah, Hamas, now Syrian assets within the country. So that's what I believe. All right? In my opinion, that's what I believe. But, I mean, that's because, I mean, there's just, I mean, look, what else is the reason of these drones? All right, the only other reason would be outside of the United States government.
I'd buy that for $1.
All right, I'll get to you in a minute. Outside the United States government utilizing this to protect us, what's the flip side of that coin? The flip side of that coin is that they're using this and they're rolling this out to try to war of the worlds attack us and try to either blame a nation state or try to blame some kind of intergalactic force in order for us to be in such a suppressive situation that we couldn't even imagine. Okay, we couldn't even imagine. And let me show you. I said that this could be a Project Bluebeam situation. And look, I'm not saying that the drones are Project Bluebeam. But since they have been implemented because of a real threat, And because they're being very coy, I'm talking the government, they're pretending that they're not there. It suggests that there is an imminent threat, and they don't want to kind of, they don't want to discombobulate us. They don't want us to go into a hysteria and that sort of thing. So right now, it went from a necessity operation to throw these drones out there in hopes of preventing some kind of an attack. And now that the people are reacting, to these things, that's why the government is being coy, because they're trying to figure out how they can use this to their advantage. This has now become a psychological operation. And right now the government is observing how the general public is going to react, because they're going to use this as an opportunity to try to pass more laws in order to suppress us, in order to put us more in an authoritarian type situation. And that's what's happening now. That's why I'm trying to tell everybody, don't think that this is fucking UFOs or any of that crap. All right, this is obviously some operation that has been deployed out of desperation, because there's obviously some kind of imminent danger to the United States. Now, like I said, if you don't believe that, then it's either that or something's going to attack us. That's either another nation state, some runaway civilization that's part of our elites, or it's fucking aliens. And if you believe it's aliens, I caution you, put the PC shot on.
Project Bluebeam.
Mm-hmm.
Can you describe what that is?
It's the ability to stage, through very advanced technologies, an alien attack or an alien event. And it's a whole series of them. Now, what most people don't know about, since late 50s, early 60s, like the Barney Hill case and all that, those were all human assets abducting innocent people made to look alien. And so that psychological warfare was authorized in 1953, 54. 1954, we mastered gravity control. So we started deploying these assets to begin to condition the public that there's a scary threat from outer space. Mm-hmm. I mean, look at Hollywood, Alien, Ridley Scott's movies. If you want to see a script for what's coming fairly soon, look at the movie Independence Day. Okay. It's right out of central casting for this covert group. So what their whole purpose is to create sort of a global militarized totalitarian superstate of the world fighting another world. It's like War of the Worlds. Okay. And that's been a 70-year defense.
Now, you see, that, I'm not saying I believe that, but the only other possibility is that there's a nefarious group that's going to attack us, that's either in our government, or that's a runaway civilization that's part of our elites, or it's fucking aliens. That's the only other explanation. I don't believe that shit. I don't believe that shit for a second. I believe that this is our government. There's an imminent threat happening in our homeland. They're deploying these assets, and because we've never been exposed to these types of technologies, they have now used this deployment as an opportunity to be able to, kind of see what's happening to the response by the general population to, in real time, turn this into a psychological operation. And that's what everybody's waiting for. That's why, the fucking Congress is the politicians are playing stupid. Everybody's playing stupid. You know what I mean? And Red Eyes Black Dragon, by the way, great scientist Stephen Hawking predicted all of this. And Devious Dave, when I was 14, an alien ate my dog. Okay, great. Anyway, but this is serious shit. So I'm telling each and every one of you, this is what's happening. And I know some of you are asking, well, Ghost, how come, the government isn't in sync with what's going on? Because it's bureaucratic, all right? It's a bureaucratic system. Who would be in charge of deploying such drone who would be in charge of this? Believe it or not, the Department of Energy. The Department of Energy. Take a look at this. Department of Energy Office of Intelligence. Yeah. The Department of Energy's Office of Intelligence, IN, is an intelligence community's premier technical intelligence resource in 4 core areas: nuclear weapons and non-proliferation, energy security, science and technology, and nuclear energy safety and waste. Tapping the broad technology base of the DOE's national laboratories and the international reach of the DOE's complex as a whole, IN accomplished this in three-part mission: to provide the DOE and other government policymakers and the intelligence community with timely, accurate, and high-impact foreign intelligence analysis. 2, to ensure the DOE's technical, analytical, and research expertise is made available to the intelligence, law enforcement, and special operations communities. 3, to provide quick turnaround, specialized technology applications, and operational support based on the DOE's technological expertise to the intelligence, law enforcement, and special operations communities. The DOE's intelligence platform traces its origins to the days of the Manhattan Project. Okay, so this is who would be doing and implementing these drones before any other agency or any other government entity is informed about it. All right, put the PC shot on. Department of Energy might seem like an odd place to find spies, but the DOE is responsible for designing, building, and testing the nation's nuclear arsenal. That's the kind of thing foreign governments are very interested in, and is the reason the DOE has the Office of Intelligence and Counterintelligence. And here are a few things you might not know about the IOC. And take a look at this. Measures and signatures intelligence is an IOC specialty. Nuclear proliferation and the movement of possible weapons of mass destruction is serious business, and the Office of Intelligence and Counterintelligence is at the forefront of this mission. Measures and signatures intelligence, MASINT, involves detecting and tracking chemical, nuclear, and biological material that might be used in WMDs. According to the Oxford Handbook of National Security Intelligence, the OIC has spent upward of $430 million to purchase and in place nuclear sensors along the international border crossings with the focus on former Soviet states. Among the signatures for which they are looking include uranium, plutonium, nuclear reactor parts, and heavy water. That's just one of the OIC's missions. Of course, the agency itself is made up of 3 directorates. The management of directorate does pretty much what you'd expect it manages. The intelligence directorate keeps tabs on the nuclear weapons programs of foreign governments and has counter-terrorist division that specializes in attempts by non-state actors to get their hands on the bomb. The counterintelligence directorate concerns itself with espionage by foreign governments against the United States and its nuclear facilities. So this is who, in my opinion, is deploying these drones. And that's why it's been kind of discombobulated as it relates to the system of government itself on who knows what, where, and how. Now today, believe it or not, at 2 p.m. Eastern time today, the intelligence community actually debriefed Congress, or at least the Intelligence Committee, about what this shit was. So as a result, they now know. The lawmakers now know. They have been debriefed. And they have to know at this point in time that this is not a foreign entity. This is not aliens. This is us. And we're trying to, we're trying to see if we can detect some kind of payload that's obviously in the country. And Tesla Cyberheart, the reason why the U.S. hasn't solved homelessness is because there needs to be punishment for people who don't work. Well, I can agree to that. Put the PC shot on. Let's take some more buy me a coffees here. It says, I'm the Exxon revolution. AI drones should be used to get rid of Asian tiger shrimp. I also have a joke for you. What do a dick and alarm have in common? They both can be sounded. What the fuck does that mean? Jesus Christ. And let's see. Let's continue. We got him again. My cup holders let you slam your fists on the desk without spilling your drink. Ah, so it's like an autism type of thing. Oh. Well, thank you, Xanton. We got cum crystals. Greatest endorsement for not joining the inner circle so far. I'm not advertising the inner circle, you fucking idiot. All right, I'm talking about the TCR chat. Of course, you're some fucking autist that's probably putting about 2 or 3 fingers, probably 4 fingers up your shit funnel, gyrating it counterclockwise, and fucking getting off to some pre-teenage Japanese cartoon, you stupid piece of shit. So shut the fuck up. Anyway, as I was stating before I got rudely interrupted, Ghost is single-wide trailer landlord. Hey, Rentoid, I found this at the flea market and figured it'd fit you real well. Check it out. I'm not checking this shit out. Even found XXXXL size, little small for you, but I bet you could squeeze in, or urinator would like to see you with a bit of your tummy. That's great. Not my fucking landlord, by the way. And hold on, we got not weird raw one here. Let's see what he has to say.
Here's another reality check, any incel, autistic or not. You'll have to face humiliation, failure, and rejection. That's the result of having a social life. Not everyone is going to like you, and you're not entitled for people like you.
That's right.
I've faced abuse and hardship since I was a kid, and I had to be the man of my family since I defended my mom from my piece of shit man-child dad from getting killed.
I'm sorry about that.
I had to fight for stability and my social life, despite me having a couple of neurodisorders. What's your excuse? Also, to many parents of autistic kids, raise them, interact with them, teach them about the world. Don't use them for sympathy, you scumbag fucks.
Thank you very much. It's very wise words from Not That Weird RA1. I mean, talk to the kids, all right? Don't use them as sympathy, you scumbag pricks is right. Cheers to that, man. All right, cheers to that. 5-finger prostate punch sounding like you're shoving things down. Yeah, shut up, asshole, all right? All right, anyway, look, that pretty much concludes what I was going to talk about as it relates to the drone situation. All right, these are drones being implemented to search for some kind of payload in the country. Now, that could be radioactive material, that could be biological material, that could be chemical material. But I believe that that's what these drones are, and they're using drones that we have never seen before. And I showed you that all the shit you've seen, shit coming out of the water, shit that's floating around in space at high altitudes, all this shit we have capabilities to do. All right, we have these capabilities, and I proved it, and I hope some of you take this to heart and remember it, because, I mean, we're not living in the fucking 90s and the 80s anymore, man. I mean, we're living the future. All right, we're living the goddamn future, for Christ's sake. Anyway, let's move on, all right? Let's transition, no pun intended. I'm already on here for 2.5 fucking hours. I didn't mean to go on this long. And dude, shut up, 5-finger prostate punch. I thought you said you were going to troll, you fucking piece of shit. Anyway, let's get to some international news. Now, of course, one of my biggest criticisms of Trump is that Trump is a Russian simp, particularly a Putin simp. I have no idea why. But here you go. Take a look at this. Kremlin praises Trump for criticizing Ukrainian strikes deep into Russia. Oh, you see, this is what I was afraid of. This is my biggest criticism of Trump, is this fucking Putin simping. And, of course, you've got the damn Russians playing into this shit. You got the Russians playing into this crap. And I don't understand why Trump wants to continue to negotiate with Putin. All right? If we're going to negotiate with anybody... Yeah, real funny. If we're going to negotiate with anybody, we should negotiate with anybody who's left over after Putin is eliminated. All right? After Putin is eliminated. It's the only reason why we should be fucking talking to Russia. That's enough with Putin. Putin needs to be eliminated. That's all there is to it. And let me tell you, Ukraine isn't... I mean, did you hear this general today that got blown up by a fucking scooter? Did y'all hear about that shit? Take a look at this. Put the PC shot on. This is why I'm telling you, man. We need to shove it down fucking Russia's throat. All right, put the PC shot on. Ukraine says it killed senior Russian general. And by the way, here's the footage of it. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Let's take a look at this footage. Using a scooter bomb. Now, if you take a look right here, this is where the scooter is, all right? That's where the scooter is, so let's go ahead and play it. All right, there it is right there. All right, they're coming out of the building, And this guy, Igor Krylov, is a general that's responsible for chemical and biological and nuclear weapons. And he was targeted by the Ukrainians in a very, very sophisticated attack. And let me tell you, this was in Moscow. This was in Moscow. So what the Ukrainians are trying to show here is that we killed one of your biggest fucking guys in the military right underneath your nose, Putin, in Moscow. And there he is right there. So anyway, and by the way, this guy was actually a suspect in an investigation in war crimes. So that's why Ukrainians thought that he was a legitimate target, even though you had Putin's lackey Medvedev today talking about, oh my God, we got to go after the government of Kyiv, and this is opening up even a bigger warlike situation. But I'll tell you right now, I'm surprised Putin has made it this long. I'm sure that Putin is, barely hanging on with a string. But to his credit, he's a survivor, and he kills most of the people that can come close to him when it comes to replacing him as leader. But I don't think he has much left. I don't know how much more in the tank he has. I really don't. I mean, I really fucking don't. And look, going back to the drone thing, Putin right now, in my opinion, is being pushed to the limit. And he's even said it here. Take a look at this. Putin says the West has pushed him to his red lines and threatens to lift restrictions on Russian missile deployment in chilling World War III threat. Now, in my opinion, I think that I think that he's capable of sending in last second, right before he's about to die, giving us all he's got. I mean, he's that type of an individual. This is not somebody we were dealing with in the Cold War that obliged game theory. All right, this guy's a fucking nutcase. And if the Russians had any kind of decency and any kind of dignity for their goddamn country, they would eliminate this prick. All right, and relieve him from command, and then we negotiate with whoever the hell's left. All right, because, I mean, this guy needs to be removed. There should be no negotiation with Russia until he's fucking removed. That's all there is to it. All right? And arrogant bastard, I mean, let's be honest. Putin is running on fumes and false hope at this point. Of course he is. That's why I don't understand why the government apparatus of Russia isn't removing this fucking piece of crap. But hey, I mean, I got to give it to Putin, man. He knows how to stay alive. And on top of that World War III threat, today, or actually yesterday, he orders his nuclear forces to be kept on constant alert. So this is why I believe that we're implementing these drones in the sky in order to prevent something that may be sponsored by Russia, but may be implemented by, I don't know, Iranians, the Syrians just went down. There's a lot of people that would aid Russia in a dirty bomb or a biological attack or something to that effect. That's why we have these drones in the sky. And trolling the interwebs, I would get the fuck out of metropolitan New York for Christmas, just saying. Well, I don't know, man. I mean, it may be anywhere in the East Coast. All right, anywhere in the East Coast. So this is why we're seeing all this shit. This is why, things are getting weird out here. So everybody needs to be aware that if we're hit up in a very massive capacity, that you can't say you weren't warned. You know what I mean? Anyway, what's up to Transbony over here? Put the PC shot on. You only bought 5 beers, dude. 69,000 beers. Let's see what you have to say.
What's
here.
up, G? Sorry for the inactivity, as the lady and I were taking a small trip to NC to catch up with some old friends from
cheers,
college.
dude. No problem.
When we were having a bonfire, we heard a buzzing and saw these red and green lights. So my buddy went in to grab his camera and captured what seems to be an apparent drone.
Oh, yeah?
You may have to zoom in a little bit to see it, but just thought you'd be interested.
All right, let's go ahead and
Anyways,
take a look.
cheers, and thank you for a good show tonight.
All right, anyway. And look, I'll get to yours in a minute there, single-wide trailer. All right, let me get to Zambonis here. What the hell has Zamboni got for us here? All right, supposedly, what is that? No shit. No shit, look at that. Put the PC shot on. Take a look at that. You can see that drone up there. You see, it looks a lot like what we're witnessing over there in Jersey, in the East Coast. Unbelievable. Hey, were you scared? I mean, did you think that, it was watching you? I mean, unbelievable. Hey, a good shot there, Zamboni, and I'm glad that you had yourself a good time with your significant other and college buddies. Hey, it's that time of year. It's the holidays! Anyway, Ghost is single wide trailer landlord. On a rather serious note, Rentoid, this is something about a dirty bomb comment you mentioned earlier on Twitter. You might find it quite interesting. It involves a Russian leaked intel. Well, if you're going to be serious, all right, okay, I guess I'll take a look at it. All right, let's see what he's talking about here. Oh, yeah, great. Look at this. All right, you know what? This is my cue to get the fuck out of here. All right? I'm serious. This is my fucking cue to get the fuck out of here. I mean, I'm trying to ban all these trolls. I'm serious. If you're a troll that listens to my the True Capitalist radio show, get the fuck out of here, all right? You're a piece of trash, and I hope you die of cancer of the cock, all right? All you fucking trolls. I'm not joking around. You're a waste of fucking life. And this is why I hope there's fucking World War III, so you idiots would have to be drafted so you could go and fucking protect your country. You fucking puss. Anyway, as I was stating before I got rudely interrupted, all right? Once again, Putin having his nuclear forces kept on constant alert, all right? And let's just go ahead and finish up on Putin because, I mean, the only base that he has outside of Russia, which is in Syria, had to bow down and retreat because Syria got overthrown, baby. All right?
I'd buy that for $1.
All right? It got overthrown. All right, I'll take a look at it in a minute, dude. It got overthrown. And Bashar al-Assad is no longer the Syrian leader. Okay? Now, I had been calling for the death of Bashar al-Assad going back to 2010. It has finally become a reality. Now, folks, Bashar al-Assad, it took him a long time to finally be toppled because as I stated on the last broadcast, and you can go ahead and take a look at that in the archive, I said that what happened was for the past 12 years or so, Al-Qaeda and ISIS have been fighting the hell out of each other. Hold on a second. This is the wrong one. Oh, my bad. Wrong one. I was going to show you a map of what the damn country was, and I went over it on the last show. But this bears repeating. Put the PC shot on. Now, this is what has happened. Now, before the overtaking of Aleppo, all right, well, this was during the overtaking of Aleppo. This is where most of the terrorists, or I should say, the Harat Tahrir al-Sham, which is ISIS, okay, this is where they were in Idlib. And they attacked Aleppo, and they used, by the way, these forces that are, these pockets of dark red here, these are Al-Qaeda. These pockets of dark red are Al-Qaeda. Now, these people have been fucking fighting each other for the past 12 years, and somehow they decided that they were going to join forces and move in on Hama, which is right here. Well, Aleppo first, and then they moved in on Hama. Then they moved in on Homs, and they went right for Damascus. Now, as a result, Bashar al-Assad fled the country because he certainly did not want to be another Muammar Gaddafi in Libya. All right? So he fled the country, but he insists that he left the country at the behest of the Russians. That he's trying to save face that, look, I left because the Russians said that I should leave, and I left with them. What a puss. All right? At least fucking Gaddafi died with his country. You leave with your tail tucked between your legs. As a matter of fact, did you see the damn pictures of this son of a bitch from his family photo album? The guy looks like he's a fucking homosexual. I mean, he looks fruity is what I'm saying. I'm just saying, this guy was the goddamn leader of Syria. And on top of which, Bashar al-Assad blames terrorism for his regime collapse in his first statement since defeat. Well, I mean, that's kind of true because, as I've stated many times, ISIS and Al-Qaeda are the United States' terrorist satellites. And we have them all over the place. I've talked about it. We have them in Burkina Faso, in Africa, Mali. We got them in Pakistan. We've got them in Tajikistan on the border of Afghanistan. We've got them everywhere. We got them in Iraq. We got them everywhere. All right? So what happened is the Al-Qaeda and ISIS factions came in and took over the country. Now, what did I tell you on the last show? I said on the last show that they were backed up by these turquoise areas here, which are the Turkish forces. And I said that on the last show, Turkey is directly involved in aiding this particular offensive that has now been taken over by the Hayat Tahrir al-Sham faction. All right, didn't I tell you that? As a matter of fact, Trump brought that up at his Mar-a-Lago press conference. And he must still be listening to the True Capitalist radio show because he's the only one that has said that, hey, Turkey is the one that's actually leading this whole offensive on Assad, and watch out for Turkey. Now, who's the new leader? Who's the new leader of Syria? Well, the new leader has already come out and said the following. Well, let me not get ahead of myself. Let's meet the new leader. All right, this new de facto leader here. Put the PC shot on. Let's take a look at him. Here he is right here. This guy right here. He almost looks like Fidel fucking Castro. Ahmad al-Shara addresses a crowd at the Syrian capital's landmark. And al-Shara has said Syria will not be used as a launch pad for attacks on Israel. So right off the bat, all right, even though these are Islamists, they have put it out there that they absolutely are not going to be used as a launch pad on Israel, first and foremost. So if they're not going to be used as a launch pad, on Israel, are they going to expand? Are they going to expand their operations in warfare? And he has come out and said, we are not interested in new conflicts despite the Israeli attacks that are happening in Syria. So I told you that these folks that are Al-Qaeda, ISIS factions, they belong to us. And this validates what I've been telling you folks for years. Yet again. So once again, the prognosticator strikes again. And what did I tell you? That Turkey will be the one out here leading the way. And didn't I tell you that Erdogan will be looked on in the Islamic world as a liberator once Bashar al-Assad was overthrown? Well, the prognosticator strikes again. With Assad's fall, Erdogan oversees Turkey's growing regional clout. And I said that the reason that we're allowing this to happen is to offset the power structure in the Middle East between Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, and Iran. And Iran. So once again, and look, I'm not playing videos, okay? I'm not playing. You know what? All right, I'm done, dude. All right, I'm done. I've been on here for almost 3 hours. You fucking people are out here fucking trolling and doing a bunch of dumb shit. I'm getting the fuck out of here. All right? I'm getting the fuck out of here, for Christ's sake. This is not fucking me looking at videos. This is not me looking at goddamn shit that you people fucking post, all right? I wish you fucking trolls, you fucking waste of life, who I wouldn't piss on if you were on fire. I wish you would fuck off from this show, all right? You're fucking losers. I fucking hate you fucking people. Get out! All right, get the fuck out! You fucking trolls are trash! And I hope you people are the fucking first ones eliminated in World War III and Operation Meat Shield. You fucking pieces of fucking garbage. Anyway, fuck all you people. I'm out of here. All right? Fucking pieces of trash. Half you people try to grow mushrooms out of your masturbation sock. You're such a sick bunch of fucking pieces of crap. Fucking assholes out here talking all this shit. You fucking seat-sniffing, use urinal cake curator, pedophile priest probing, socialist schlonghead sucking, sphincter fingering, cuckold connoisseur piece of shit. Anyway, I'm going to get the hell out of here. All right? I'm getting the fuck out of here. I deserve more respect than this. I'm giving you fucking idiots CIA levels of information, and you fucking idiots want to do a ghost show, for fuck's sake. Anyway, I'm getting out of here. I'm going to be in the fucking True Capitalist Radio chat room where we can fucking eliminate these pieces of trash that have no fucking significance on the True Capitalist Radio show. They're just a bunch of fucking losers that are going to sit there, spin their hand, and wax their carrot to fucking Japanese cartoons, and it makes me sick. It makes me fucking sick. So anyway, if you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, go to buymeacoffee.com/GhostPolitics. And if you're a troll, fuck you. Get out of here. All right? If you're a troll, fuck you. I hope you have an inoperable tumor at the base of your spine, you piece of shit. Get out! But if you're somebody that wants to be serious, and you're somebody that wants to be privy to fucking information that maybe most people don't fucking have, or you want to be privy to a fucking conversation that is serious and that's outside the stupidity of fucking trolls and autism, then hook it up with a True Capitalist Radio membership. And by the way, the third card, every True Capitalist Radio member gets a card a month, an exclusive TCR trading card, and it's only for them. We're on the third one, which will be mailed out probably sometime this week, hopefully before Christmas. If not, it'll come in after Christmas. All right? So anyway, I'm out of here. Fuck you fucking people. All right? I'm going to be in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. If you guys want to come and kick it with me, and you want to do something with your life, and you don't want to be a piece of shit like these fucking losers that you see flapping their fat Cheeto-stained fingers on the keyboard, talking a bunch of nonsense, then join. If you're a troll, fuck you. I hope you fucking get cancer of the fucking asshole. All right. Anyway, thank you all, the serious people that listen to the broadcast. Cheers to you. You trolls, fuck you. All right? Fucking pieces of foreskin, muzzle-loving, Hillary Clinton, bedpan cleaning, kebab, meatbag chewing, rose-butted asshole licking, taint tonguing, blue ball blowing piece of shit. Anyway, I'm going to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. All right? Fuck all you people that are fucking haters. And for all you people that are listening to the substance that I'm trying to give on this broadcast, cheers to you. You're the only reason I continue to do these shows. These trolls, I hope you become fucking fertilizer for crops, you fucking piece of shit. Anyway, I'm out of here. All right, I don't know when I'm going to do another show. All right, I don't know when I'm going to do another show. All right, but if you're a troll, fuck yourself. I'm out of here. Woo!